Receive the training, support, and resources needed to succeed, while clients benefit from tailored cleaning solutions backed by a global brand. Jani-King ensures consistent results, trust, and success for everyone we serve. Go to JaniKingCleans.com and find out how we can help you. That's JaniKingCleans.com.
Jani King, the king of clean.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ. That's JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Something amazing is happening when power outages strike. Teams are powering through them. That's because CDW Solutions architects are building more resilient IT and electrical infrastructures with Schneider Electric. With EcoCare remote monitoring services and 24/7 support, your organization can do more than keep the lights on. Schneider Electric and CDW make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Schneider Electric.
It's the best of all worlds. Great cigars, great cocktails, and an amazing atmosphere. It's Don Juan's Cigar Bar. Located in Town Center, Don Juan is the perfect place to enjoy a great cocktail, beer on tap, a wide selection of scotches and bourbons, and of course, a fine premium cigar. Sit back, relax, let the time fade by. Don Juan's Cigar Bar. Great cocktails, great cigars, the good life. Check them out online, DonJuanCigarBar.com.
When we started GMFS Mortgage here in Baton Rouge 26 years ago, do you know where we wanted our headquarters to be? Here's a hint. We've never moved. That's right. We started in Baton Rouge. Our loans are originated, processed, and underwritten in Baton Rouge. Every step of the mortgage process happens here in Baton Rouge. So when you're ready to buy, build, renovate, or refinance, please check out GMFSmortgage.com and choose GMFS Mortgage of Baton Rouge. We are your local lender.
NMLS number 64997 is an equal housing lender. Mortgages originated at 7389 Florida Boulevard, Suite 200A, Baton Rouge, Louisiana 70806.
At Custom Colors Body and Paint, we're excited to have Will Rapp and Ian McKnight on our team. They're continuing the tradition of exceptional service that Billy Rapp and Pete McKnight began back in 1987. Custom Colors, located in the Industrial Plex off Seagan.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. here on Monday, May 19th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect partly cloudy skies with a high of 90 in hour one of today's show. We'll recap the LSU versus South Carolina series and preview the upcoming SEC baseball tournament. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench.
This is what we have been waiting for. The hype is over.
Off the Bench.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester.
Yo, and welcome in to OTB 104.5, ESPN Baton Rouge, 94.7 ESPN in Alexandria, and 11:30 a.m. The Tiger up into 3-1. Great. Jacob Hester, that felt weird. Jake Hester, Alondra, Tay, all here with you here on this Monday morning. Alondra, new open? That you?
So I didn't make this one. Nor did I hear it until like 15 minutes before the show started. So
it's like,
I don't love
quick
it.
and abrupt. That's just for like this little
for right now.
2-week.
Yeah, we got something else coming.
Twilight Zone kind of situation.
Very Twilight Zone.
I think we've got going on where I'll be here for a week and then I'll be in spring meetings and Tay is going to be taking over before we get our new co-host Matt Flynn in here on June the 2nd. But that was not the work of Alondra.
No.
I can promise you that. It's
I would
going
like to
be.
make that clear.
Yeah, I did too. I want to make that clear right off the top here. We'll have something, more extensive for you. That felt a little blunt.
Y'all didn't like it?
No, it wasn't great.
No.
It wasn't great. It's okay. It's okay. It is okay.
It does
Interim
what it's supposed to
basis
do.
type situation.
Yeah.
It gets us on the show, and we've got a ton to get to. And look, we got a ton of guests, as you know. When I am solo dolo, that's what it's going to be. We got Ross Jackson, Bill Bender, Roddy Jones, Devin Snow, Eric Sorensen. I mean, we have got a ton of great guests lined up for you. Let's go around. Let's get a little vibe check of the room. Alondra, Tay, how was the weekend? Alondra, I saw you with a sword and a champagne bottle.
Yes.
Explain.
Okay, so my dream came true, and I sabered a champagne. I actually saw T-Bob yesterday. We had brunch. And
ooh, fancy.
Yeah, it was a little brunch. But Rivers has like a sabering sword for this specific kind of thing.
As
So-
one would.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
why wouldn't you have a sword?
She has it like on a shelf displayed.
In a glass case.
It's not in a glass case, but it is like on a, like, I don't know.
Wait, it's like displayed?
Yeah, it's displayed like on a shelf. And she
When
has
she's opening, she's like, Alondra, go get my dagger.
yeah. So she was like, I'm going to teach you how to do it. So then I did it, and it was super fun.
Okay.
Yeah. So now I feel like
You
that's
still
going to
drink
be my new
the-
party.
you still drink the
Yeah,
alcohol.
Yeah, we still drink
Right.
the champagne that was
Just
in it.
a fancy way to open it.
Yeah, just a cool way to do it.
All right. How was T-Bob?
He was good.
Okay.
Yeah. All the kids were there. So I was like, thank y'all so much for the birth control. Like, that was literally.
I did not
was
think that's what you were
overwhelming.
about to say. Like, you said thank you, and, you know, we've been so, you know, celebrating T-Bob as
Yeah.
we should. I did not think that was about to happen.
Oh my gosh, there's 5 children, and they kept like, and
Well,
they were
I've
so
got 5
cute.
in my house alone.
I know,
so, yeah.
and they're so cute, and I love them. But they kept like doing plays for us.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're
So-
like, the first 3 were cute. Yeah, I got you. It's fine. It's fine.
Love them though.
Yeah. Tay, what'd you do this weekend? How was it?
Well, it made T-Bob proud. Guys, I had steak fajitas last night.
You did.
Who
You sent a
would've
picture.
thought?
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Proud
They
of you.
We had to
looked
get
good.
away from the chicken. Too many margaritas, though, guys.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never in my life thought Tay to have too much of any sort of alcohol.
So we're at this Mexican restaurant, right? Like you're it's like $9.99 for a small, like $14.99 for a medium, and a large is like $23. And I was like, I'm getting a large. Victoria's like, all right, well, I'll get a medium. And then I looked, and the margarita pitcher's $27. I'm like, well, hell, that's like $12 cheaper. Let's just get that. So we got the pitcher, and it held like 6 or 7 margaritas. We finished it. And when
So-
I mean me and Victoria finished it, I
You
mean
finished.
I finished it. She had like 1.5.
I do not mean to LP you because I can have some country words as well. Like, they'll slip certainly here over the next couple of days. But when you said pitcher, I thought you meant a picture, but you were just saying a pitcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a pitcher, but not an
pitcher.
actual pitcher of margarita.
No, a pitcher of margarita.
That's what got me. Okay, I got it now.
Watermelon margarita was good.
Watermelon.
I do love a watermelon
Okay.
marg.
I wanted strawberry, but see, y'all know I like them frozen. Victoria doesn't.
Yeah.
But she goes, if we get them frozen, we got to go watermelon. I was like, all right, that's a fair compromise. But I mean, in the pitcher, frozen works better anyways.
Can you be from LP and get a frozen watermelon margarita?
I mean, it's a Mexican restaurant. They do have like a Corona Rita and a Dos Rita.
Oh yeah.
Of
Meaning
course they
they
do.
literally just dump Dos Equis or Corona
That
in there.
actually sounds
and you get the
fantastic.
margarita. And it's great. I've just had it like 10 times. And I'm like, I never have margaritas. So
Fair enough.
you got
Fair
it. It was
enough.
good. It's a good time.
We had some people inside the chat, and look, I am going to try to be in the chat as much as I can over the next week, even though we'll be up here solo. So if we don't get to your questions, we do apologize. But one of the first things that I did see was no hoodie and asked about the AC. Well, that's the only reason I'm over on this side. Now, if you're like an OG and you watched Hanging with Hester like way back 5 years ago, this is the side that I sat on. Hadn't sat over here in a very, very long time, and I can already tell the difference of the AC. When you sit over there, and I know it's like right there across the table, trust me when I say that is the frozen tundra of Guarantee Media. And if you've ever sat on that side, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, yeah, maybe, just maybe, I won't have to wear a hoodie every single day, because when you wear a hoodie into the studio here in June, July, and August, as I do, and I go out, it's instant back sweat as soon as I walk out of here. So hopefully that's one perk of my man T-Bob not being here, is that I can steal his seat and sit over here on this side. All right, as we get into it, you probably guessed that all of the first couple of segments here will be about LSU baseball. They win 2 of 3 from South Carolina. We all know because we reacted to it somewhat as much as we were going to on Friday They drop that game, but they get game 2 and game 3 on game 2. They win 8-1. Game 3, 7-3. And sure, we could go back. We could kind of break those games down. Cade Anderson was Cade Anderson. Anthony Ianson, not as sharp as he has been, but still really good.
Yeah,
I think he spoiled us because it was like, wait a minute, he gave up an early run. Like, what's going on here? That's how dominant your first 2 starters have been. But they do exactly what we think they had to do as far as LSU winning at least 2 of 3 there in Columbia, South Carolina. So we'll go around the room. Have they done enough? Has LSU baseball done enough to be a national top 8 seed, Alondra?
I think they have. And I think we talked about it last week going into the weekend. Like, if they win 2 of 3 at South Carolina, then they're basically a lock. And I think they still are. They did that. They won 2 of 3. So,
Tay.
Yeah, I think they could go. I think they could go one and done in the tournament and still be in.
Yeah.
And I don't think they need to win another game.
Yeah, and so the SEC, and it's like this, I guess, in other conferences, but certainly in the SEC baseball tournament, it's a little bit like the basketball tournament sometimes, where you want to win. I mean, you're out there, but you're cautious in that approach.
If you already have a spot locked
Yes.
up, it's kind of pointless.
Yes.
I mean, it's one of those where it's like, if you need to win the tournament to get in, win it. But if not, yeah.
Now, we'll throw that on the flip side, and it's the thing that I really love most about Jay Johnson. He's going to go for victory. Like, midweek game, he throws Paul Skeens in a regional against Tulane when a lot of people thought he'd throw somebody off and Paul would go later on in the regional. So when he typically does something, it is to go win a baseball game. Now, you got to be smart in this approach as well, but it does feel like they have a top 8 seed locked up. And D1Baseball.com, they released their field of 64, and they did this, I think it was late last night. So this is up to date as you're going to get. And here are your top 8 national seeds. Again, according to D1Baseball.com, you've got Texas at 1, Arkansas at 2, Vanderbilt at 3, North Carolina at 4, Georgia at 5, Auburn at 6, LSU at number 7, and Oregon at number 8. So LSU, again, according to D1 Baseball, still a top 8 national seed, but they are right there on the fringe, right there at number 7. It has them, which this would be a great storyline. It has LSU, Arizona, obviously where Jay Johnson came from, Miami, and then Miami of Ohio. So 2 Miamis in Arizona right now projected to be in the Baton Rouge Regional. But, Tay, you said you were watching something with Kendall Rogers last night that said that's where he thinks the committee will place them, but maybe LSU gets even higher.
Yeah, it was a clip of like a live stream that he had done over the weekend. It was only about a 30-second clip. But, yeah, essentially Kendall said, I think this is what the committee's going to do. He's like, however, I could easily see them getting into the top 4. He goes, we just placed them here now based on what I've heard. He's like, but they could easily be higher. So, I mean, yeah, you may think, oh, they're on the fringe, but maybe not.
So the teams that, they project to be in here as well, like we don't know what that's going to look like. You don't know if Miami, who seems like a pretty tough 3 seed, but there's going to be tough 3 seeds across the country because there's some teams in major conferences, certainly ones that have been there before, that are projected to be 3 seeds. Right now, like this is just across the country. All right, in the Austin Regional, USC, Southern Cal is expected to maybe be a 3 seed. In Atlanta, it's Arizona State. In Fort Worth, it's Oklahoma. You keep going on down the list. In LA, for the UCLA Regional, it's UVA, Virginia. We've seen them make big runs, obviously. You've got in the Auburn Regional, Troy, who's been like a top 25 baseball team all season long. You go to Tallahassee, Mississippi State right now, projected to be a 3 seed. That's a team that's as hot as anybody right now in the SEC. So if you're Florida State, it's kind of like LSU softball, which we'll get to. It's like, thanks. We appreciate the teams you put in our regional. In Baton Rouge, it's Miami. In Conway, South Carolina for Coastal Carolina, the Kentucky Wildcats. In Corvallis, Oklahoma State. In Eugene, Notre Dame. So this field is going to be incredibly strong. And not just because they're name brands, but because they've made runs. Like a lot of those teams that I'm talking about, they were thought to be on the outside looking in, but they made the run. And now, like, would either one of y'all want to play Mississippi State at this point?
Nope.
As a 3? Mm-mm. And then you got West Virginia, who won the Big 12 regular season as a 2.
I mean, there's a lot of tough regionals. Like you just mentioned, the LSU softball regional. I mean, you had 4 conference champions in one regional. I mean, that's you don't hear of that. And like LSU was a top 16 seed. You think they'd get a little bit favorable matchup in the regional? No. I mean, you talk about the one projected for LSU, Arizona, Miami. I mean, forget about Miami, Ohio, who's had a good season, but like just those 3 teams, names alone, like that's not a tough. That's a tough regional. There's no cakewalk, and you're projected to be a national seed.
And typically LSU would get, just like they did in softball, they would get whichever Louisiana school made it. But right now, like you don't see that. Houston Christian went and had a little bit of an upset in the Southland Conference tournament, so they won that, and so they're in the Austin Regional right now. So typically you'd have the Southeastern, the ULL, who's certainly on a down year, Northwestern State, whoever kind of came out of the Southland. But that's why you see Miami of Ohio, who can hit bombs. I mean, that is what they do really, really well. So that is what the latest projection is. Again, LSU does what we all think they had to do, win 2 of 3 in Columbia, South Carolina. And throughout the show, we'll break that down, and throughout the week, we'll continue to break it down. But it does look like LSU has done enough to be able to host a regional, and then if they move on, a super regional here in Baton Rouge, which we all certainly would look forward to. All right, we will step away for the first time, and when we come back, we're going to have Alondra break down the SEC baseball tournament and really just the SEC standings, where everyone sits, what have they done over the last couple of weeks, because you have some teams that are thriving right now. You have some teams that I know I did, and I want to speak for Alondra and Taylor. I left for dead. I thought they were done. They have done enough to not only get into the postseason, but maybe get a 2 seed into the postseason, not like last team in kind of scenario. So we'll break it all down when we come back. It is OTB here on 104.5 ESPN.
Off the bench.
All right, go to GoTommys.com, G-E-A-U-X, Tommys.com. That is Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding, where you will clearly see the difference. We always talk about the work that they have done here in the greater Baton Rouge area, but one of the best things to do so you can see it for yourself, go to the website we gave you, go to the gallery. It's in the top right corner of the website, and you can see what they have done. And you will see a lot of different projects. You can go to the website, see testimonials to kind of describe how the process went, how it was working with Tommy and the team, because that is one of the best parts about it. The quality work, right? And we know they win awards every single year, so the quality of work is great. But also the people that you get to work with. I've had them come in my home. It is an incredibly easy process. Go to the website today to see what they can do for you. Again, that is GoTommys.com. That phone number is 225-250-8808.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Atmos Energy, our smart choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews.
Say I'll never change, just to go around town with some gasoline, just trying to bomb a flame.
Welcome back to Off the Bench.
How do you explain ever falling in love with a guy like me in the first place? And turn around, say that I'm the
All right, welcome back in OTB. What was that? What are we doing?
I don't know.
Come on.
But,
Like what?
okay, so I totally forgot that they did that to that rejoin, but last time they did that, I asked them to take it off, so I don't know why they.
Yeah.
But
it's all right.
I'll keep that in mind, though.
Sorry, we'll get there. By June the 2nd, whenever Matthew Clayton Flynn joins us, we'll have all that worked out. Gosh, by the way, like before we get to the baseball segment, like thank everyone so much for like being fired up for the new show, the kind words that we got, because replacing T-Bob it's impossible. T-Bob, and you've heard it throughout the last couple of days, he truly is one of one. Like that's just, I've never met anybody like T-Bob because I've never met Jack Black, which I assume that's about as close as we possibly could get. But T-Bob's been that way since I've known him. I've known T-Bob now for almost 20 years, and that's how T-Bob's been. So when we were looking for someone to replace him, like, again, I said it on whatever day that was, Friday, Thursday, I don't know. There's a lot of different people. There's a lot of different names. Like a lot of people threw a lot of different names out there. And thank God Alondra threw Matt out there, which we just had no clue that would work out. And Matt was kind of looking for something like this. And because like replacing T-Bob was going to be very, very difficult. And we didn't want the show to change drastically. Like did not want, no disrespect, did not want a writer in here, like a sports writer who only wanted to talk sports and wanted to stay on schedule. It's not what this is. It's not what this is. Like, this is a morning drive show. We want you to have fun. We want you to laugh. We want you to get some sports news without question, and it's probably going to be more sports than it was. But it is certainly going to be sports-ish. That is Flynn's vibe. That is our vibe. We're going to have a lot of fun. We want you to not be angry that you have to go to school or go to work. Try to give you some laughs, try to let you have some fun. So I'm excited about it. We are very excited that you're excited about it. Walking around town, walking around the ballpark this weekend, nothing but, man, we're fired up for Flynn to start. We're going to miss T-Bob like crazy, but that's the only person that could replace him that makes any sense. And, like, we agree. Thank God Alondra said his name out there. There's some concern about
really
having
a shot in the dark.
It was,
yeah.
But that's what you got to do. There was some concern. A lot of dads this weekend out at the ballpark were like, hey, over under 3 days a week that Flynn's going to be there on time or be there. I said, look, we're expecting 3.5, and if we get 4, that is lagniappe. I think that's fair.
I think that is
I'll
fair.
take 3.5.
And I was going to message in the chat the other day and be like, okay, Flynn, I need you to know that people are already doubting you. So you need to like get your life together and just know that people already don't believe in you.
It's traffic in the city, guys. What are you gonna
That's
do?
what you have to do too with those quarterbacks. They have a different mindset. Now, some take it way overboard, like Russell Wilson. Like, they take it way, way, way overboard, right? Like, we're not.
What
like,
do you mean?
Yeah, well, if you ever met him. We're not, like, Matt's not that. But, like, you got to challenge the quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, hey, people said you suck.
I really
people said
was
you're not going to be
so
there.
So you think I should say that in the
For sure.
in the group chat then?
And he knows it.
Yeah,
We just got to voice it.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to
no.
challenge those guys. Look,
Yeah.
to play quarterback at the level that Matt did, which 10 years in the NFL, college, national champ, the whole deal, you got to have some ego.
Yeah.
Agreed. Like, we're not going to stroke his ego. That's
No.
not the way. But we're going to like try to damage it a little bit.
Just kind of like manipulate him.
Exactly. Which
Yeah.
he can be. He was my roommate
He
when I
seems
first got here. Very easily can you manipulate Matt Flynn.
Yeah.
Flynn seems like the type that's like, guys, I'm not doing it. No way. And in like 2 minutes, he's like, yeah, I'm in. I can do that.
As you saw by the last couple of texts.
Yeah.
That is how he is.
Everyone
and
that
that-
I've gotten so far, I'm like, this is so Matt Flynn.
When we were throwing out show name ideas,
Yeah.
like you said something, he's like, actually, Jake, like I'm actually good with like these 3 things, or like we could just keep off the bench. Like, I'm kind of good with these. I'm like, bro, can
Not
you make a
one
decision?
point was
Can you
made.
make
I
a
know.
decision?
I know that was probably the hardest decision was like
Yeah.
the show name. Like,
Yeah.
do we change it because it was Jordy and T-Bob, and then when Jordy left, it was me and T-Bob for 5 years, and the connective tissue was T-Bob because
Yeah.
he was here. It's like, do we change that? But we threw a bunch of names out there, which I think would have worked, but it would have been like a growing process. But I'm like, you know what? Like, I've been on OTB for 5 years. Alondra and Tate, y'all have been here for a long time now, and so we decided to keep it. That's what it's going to be, and so very, very excited for June the 2nd. Also excited for the SEC baseball tournament. Let me give you kind of some final stats, the rundown of how everyone finished conference play, and then I'm going to turn it over to Alondra to kind of go through the SEC baseball tournament, where everyone's seated, what the matchups are going to be. Texas ends up winning the regular season 22-8 in conference play. It's Arkansas in second at 20-10. You had 2 teams at 19-11, including LSU and Vanderbilt. The Georgia Bulldogs 18-12. The Auburn Tigers 17-13. The Ole Miss Rebels kind of quietly had a winning record in SEC play, 16-14. Same record for the Tennessee Vols and the Alabama Crimson Tide at 15-15. The Florida Gators and Mississippi State Bulldogs. And then you get into your losing records. You got Oklahoma 14-16, Kentucky 13-17, lost their last 3, really struggling down the stretch. You've got Texas A&M 11-19. Yes, I mean 11-19, and you were the number 1 team in the country. South Carolina at 6-24, Missouri at 3-27. So that is your final standings. Alondra, what does the SEC baseball tournament look like as far as seeds and matchups and all that?
So Tigers earned the 3 seed. They had a tiebreaker with Vanderbilt, but they end up winning it. So Vanderbilt, obviously the 4 seed, but they won't play until the quarterfinals on Friday, and they're gonna win, or they'll play whoever wins game 8, and that's Auburn versus whoever is the winner of Mississippi State versus Texas A&M. So Mississippi State has been hot the past couple weeks after firing Chris Lemonis. They've won their last 3 series. So there could be like an Auburn rematch where, if you remember, during the regular season, we unfortunately got swept by Auburn. So
Yeah.
I would look out for that. But on Tuesday, it all gets started tomorrow at, 10:30 Eastern time, 9:30 Central time. So 9:30 here.
She had her fingers out in case anybody didn't see that.
Okay, hang on. Number 9, Alabama's going to face number 16, Missouri. So I think we could. Oh, it's single elimination this year.
Right,
If you
that
remember,
is
because it's
new.
all 16
Yeah.
teams now.
Which I love.
Yeah, me too. Like, let's don't. Like, What are
yeah.
we doing? Let's don't drag this thing out.
There's a lot of people that kind of don't like it.
I do.
Like, I think Jay still wanted double elimination, but I like this, and I like having all 16 teams there just because it's more baseball. But 9 Alabama's going to face 16 Missouri, so I think you could basically count Missouri out.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's going to face Kentucky at 12:30, and then Florida is the 10 seed facing the 15 seed South Carolina at 4:30, and then Mississippi State, like I mentioned, versus Texas A&M at 8 p.m. And that's the one that you're going to want to watch because that's who's going to play Auburn on Wednesday, and whoever wins that game again is going to play the Tigers. But that's your kind of your first look at tomorrow and the SEC tournament, but I can go through the rest of it if you want.
Why not?
Okay, Wednesday, Game 5, number 8 Tennessee versus the winner of Bama versus Missouri, so probably going to be facing Bama. Georgia is going to play whoever wins Oklahoma versus Kentucky, and then Ole Miss will play whoever wins over Florida and South Carolina. And then, again, Auburn, we already went through that. Thursday, Texas, which, okay, I saw this thing Jim Schlossnagle said on Twitter, and he said that it's harder to win the SEC championship or a SEC title during the regular season than winning a national championship. And I can kind of respect getting out in front of not winning the Natty before it happens. Like, let me just get this out the way just in case people are already going to start saying stuff. But Texas will face the winner of Game 5, so the winner of Tennessee versus whoever wins Game 1. And then Vandy versus the winner of Game 6, and then Arkansas versus Game 7 on Friday. And then on Saturday, that's when the semifinals are. So hopefully LSU is going to be playing on Saturday at 4 p.m. Approximately 4 p.m. is the tournament. So things can change. And then obviously the championship game on Sunday.
The weather in Hoover, Alabama.
Always terrible.
Always awful. Just terrible. Love Hoover. Love the venue. I actually played a high school football game in that stadium against Hoover. We did not.
I mean, Hoover's traditionally
kind of
great.
Down year.
That's what I'm asking.
We're down year. We lost in the state finals that year. It was definitely a down year. We played like Burns, South Carolina. We played De La Salle, California, that team that they made the movie about. We played Hoover. We played Longview, I think, maybe, or Lufkin. I don't know, one of those East Texas teams. Chad Jackson was their receiver, caught a questionable touchdown in the corner of the end zone. Looked like he was out. Didn't matter, though. We got the ball back. We're driving. We're down by 6. We're on the 1-yard line. Already, I had, I think, like 180 yards rushing in the game on the 1-yard line, and our offensive coordinator calls a pass.
Oh no!
Throws an interception.
I was about to say I was gonna throw you a little shade. I'm like, Jake, you didn't score on the one, but
you know how mad I was. I'm still
I
like
could
that
imagine.
was 2003. I'm still mad about that. Like,
pulled a
1-yard line.
You pulled a Pete Carroll.
What are we doing? Yeah, before that. Yeah. So we're the original, actually. Evangel versus Hoover throwing not even like a fade. Like he threw like one of those comebacks where you go into the end zone, you come back to the front pylon.
Okay, so he wanted to hit it at the front corner.
Guy intercepted it, stepped out of bounds, game over.
That's horrible.
Bum.
Why would you call the
come
back at all the corner has to do is nothing.
I know.
Just stand there.
What are we doing? Smartest guy in the room. All right, LSU is going to play on Friday, Game 12 of the SEC baseball tournament. What a good feeling it is this year, not having to go to Hoover, needing to win at least one game, probably multiple games like it was a year ago. And look, you want to win, but it does feel like you are solidified right now as a national seed. You're going to be a national seed. You're going to be a top 8 national seed, but one victory there will certainly do everything to lock that up. All right, we will step away, and when we come back, let's catch up with our guy Ross Jackson to talk a little New Orleans Saints, as it looks like they are not interested in bringing in a veteran quarterback, and we'll do that when we jump back here on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, well, the phone lines for this company are wide open because T-Bob's no longer going to be using their services. That is, of course, Central Plumbing. 225-925-8552 is the number. That certainly is 24/7, 365, weekends, holidays, game day, does not matter. If you've got an emergency, you call that number and they're going to make sure that they fix whatever problem you have going on. They've done it for me. All jokes aside, they've done it for T, and they can do it for you as well. Also, but like if you're looking at the website, which is centralplumbing.org, go check out what they can do in the remodel game. And that's at your home, that's at your business. So if you own something downtown, right? You got an entire floor and you've got 6 restrooms there on your floor, they can come in and they can knock that out. If you're looking at 1 restroom, 1 bathroom at your home, they'll come in, they'll upgrade that as well. They can truly do it all. Centralplumbing.org.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental.
This is Off the Bench.
All right, welcome back in. OTB 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. Always our pleasure to catch up with our next guest. It is our guy, Ross Jackson, host of Locked On Saints. You know he's doing big things over at LouisianaSports.net as well. Ross, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey, buddy. Doing great, man. Thanks so much for having me on. Good morning to you.
Did I hear Alondra ask you how you were doing in a time zone that's not the central time zone, and I feel really bad for calling you this early?
Oh, dude, no worries at all. I'm always up this early. This ain't no thing. Yeah, I'm over in Salt Lake at the moment. Last day of my trip, getting away for a little bit. So nice 6:30 a.m. this morning. Like, this ain't nothing.
Oh my gosh, we call you at 6:30 when you're trying to get away from sports. Ross, you could just tell me.
Oh no, not away from sports, away from heat.
Okay, that part. Look, I was outside at a baseball tournament this weekend. I can fully get behind that. So, yeah, Ross, we always do appreciate the time. And I want to have you on because it looks like the Saints will not be adding a veteran quarterback. And I think that is very newsworthy. I mean, certainly if it's not Aaron Rodgers, you're trying to think what veteran would it be, because now, like we know, you've got a very, very young quarterback room, but it sounds like the Saints are going to roll with that young quarterback room.
Yeah, sounds like it. This has been sort of building to this point here for, since pretty much the retirement of Derek Carr. And even before that, when many of us were pretty certain that he was not going to be a part of the 2025 plans, at least in some way or another. And look, you've got young guys in that room right now. Your eldest is a third-year quarterback in Jake Haener. You've got a second-year guy in Spencer Rattler, and you've got a pair of rookies, one drafted in Tyler Shuck, one undrafted in Hunter Deckers. And it seems like that's the position group that they want to roll with, at least going into training camp. We'll see how things change because obviously, look, you have a young room. You have a winless room on top of that, which isn't shocking when you have a young room. And you have, a 36-year-old head coach that, has won with guys like, yes, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, and Justin Herbert, but he's also won with guys like Tanner McKee, Kenny Pickett, and Cooper Rush, right?
Yeah.
And so the Saints feel really confident in what it is that Kellen Moore, could be able to do with this young group. I'll throw, Doug Nussmeier, the offensive coordinator, in there, who's been at each of those other previous 3 stops with Kellen Moore as well. You add in Scott Tolzien, the quarterback coach, who's all 3 of those guys former NFL quarterbacks. So maybe they feel they're the veterans in the room until proven otherwise. And so we'll see. But I think that's definitely the direction they want to go right now.
Oh, man, you just made me feel really old, Ross. Not only did I turn 40 a couple of days ago, but Scott Tolzien was like a young quarterback that came to us in San Diego, and now he's like this, very well-respected quarterback coach.
Yeah. Well, remember, he's still a young quarterback.
Okay,
coach.
I like it.
Stop it. Don't make yourself feel too bad.
I like it. Yes.
This will be the first time that I'm separated by 1 year to a head coach that I'm covering.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's kind of a wild situation that like you have that sort of influx of young coaching talent, but then you also have sort of this kind of variety of coaches in different places in their careers too. Like it's a really uniquely built coaching staff.
And Ross, I mean, when you look at Tyler Shuck as well, like he is a rookie. Like I don't care how old you are, you're a rookie. There's things you're going to go through, but also like with him turning 26 when the season starts, like the NFL no longer has it where it's like, okay, well, look, we're going to draft this quarterback. We're going to ease him into the situation. We're going to have this veteran quarterback kind of start the first 6 games, and then this guy's going to. That's no longer the NFL either. Like we saw in last year's draft class, like those guys outside of Michael Penix who ended up being the starter, like they were the guy from day one. Even J.J. McCarthy, when he goes down with injury, he was still going to be the guy. Sam Darnold was going to be the backup. And so that's what it is now in the NFL. And so when you've got this young coach, be it head coach and the quarterback coach and then a very experienced offensive coordinator, like I would assume like Tyler Shuck is going to be the front runner certainly in this job. Like, do you have it any different right now? Like, do you see Spencer Rattler maybe being even with Tyler Shuck?
I think that he certainly can be. I think that the 7 games of experience that he has, the 6 games of starting experience that he has definitely means something, and I think that he deserves a shot. But look, I think this is Tyler Shuck's job to lose. I mean, he was the hand-picked guy by the head coach in Kellen Moore, and I think that means a lot more than maybe people might expect it to mean or whatever that might be. Like, I don't know that I would necessarily call this a fair fight. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you're right. Like, the idea of him being a rookie and needing to sit and have time, that's just not how the NFL works anymore. There's no discernible difference in, success or lack of success between the quarterbacks that start right away and the quarterbacks that sit behind right away. I mean, it's easy to point to guys like Patrick Mahomes and say, well, he sat down for a while before he, jumped into his starting role. But then, you can always pull a Jaden Daniels and say, look, this is a guy that started right away and took his team to the NFL championship in his first year,
Yeah.
And so there's not really a discernible difference. Like, there are examples of success and lack of success in both approaches, waiting to start a quarterback or starting a quarterback right away. And there's not enough of one or the other that has found any success or that hasn't found success. So I think that the best thing that the Saints can do here is, of course, pick the best option, right? So who looks best during training camp, who looks best during the portion of the preseason until it takes you to get to the point where you make your decision, and to let Kellen Moore choose his guy and whoever it is that he decides to be that week 1 starter. And I think as long as those 2 things happen and you check both of those boxes, I think that that's what will determine whether or not you're going to find success in that quarterback or not.
Catching up with our guy Ross Jackson here on OTB. One of the other things that came up over the weekend to step away from the quarterback position, there was some rumors, and look, these are social media rumors, but there were some rumors maybe like the Steelers and Chris Olave and maybe a potential trade there, which I just would not be in favor of because you need weapons if you're the New Orleans Saints. Does that rumor have any legs?
It has legs in one portion of the conversation, which is that from my understanding and the people that I've spoken to that have knowledge of the situation, the Steelers reached out to New Orleans to see hey, is Chris Olave available? And I think that tells you a couple things. I think it tells you, one, that obviously Chris Olave has value across the NFL. I know he's dealt with the concussions last year, and he's dealt with concussions through his career and everything. And people will often make the comment that, he's one concussion away from retirement. We don't know that. No one knows that. Like that's that man's decision and his decision only. And so I'm not going to lobby any type of accusations like that against Chris Olave, but I think that it does show you that there's value in this player around the NFL. I think that's one. I think number two, it gives you a little bit of the idea of the perception of the New Orleans Saints around the league, right? Hey, let's check and see if they're rebuilding, right? They lost Derek Carr. They don't have the starting quarterback that they thought they were going to have. They have a winless quarterback room, a very young quarterback room. They have a first-time head coach. Maybe they're willing to move off from some of their young foundational pieces. And then the third thing that it tells you is that they're not, right? The Saints aren't ready to do that because they're not interested in trading Chris Olave. And so what you're going to hear a lot of is that the Steelers reached out, the Saints wanted a high price, and therefore the Saints were, at least willing to deal. But really, if you have a player that you're not willing to move, you'd never walk into a negotiation and say, this isn't happening. You just set a really high price for that player. And if that team's willing to meet that high price, then you have the opportunity to say, I was just playing. Or, yes, we'll take that deal. You know what I mean? But that's not how a negotiation works. You don't walk into a negotiation and say no. And so it has legs from the standpoint that the Steelers were reaching out and that the Steelers were interested. But the Saints weren't actively shopping Chris Olave. This was a reach out by the Steelers and the Saints effectively saying, like, we value this player very highly and we're not willing to move off of him for, pennies or anything like that, showing that they're not into the idea of that whole, rebuild, let's see, chip off some foundational pieces, pick up draft capital. They're not in that mode yet.
Another position that certainly is going to be intriguing throughout, training camp and even now. I mean, but certainly how it plays out throughout training camp. And I want to ask you this. Okay, so not today, but if we were September the 1st, left to right on your offensive line, what do you think that's going to look like? Because, I mean, you've got so many pieces and draft capital into this offensive line with first-round picks, second-round picks. But what do you think it's going to look like left to right?
Yeah, I've kind of gone back and forth on this, if I'm honest with you, Jake. So for me, I'll start with the tackles. Kelvin Banks Jr. for me plugs in at his natural position, left tackle. Talaiasi Fuang moves back to his natural position, right tackle. That's an easier shift for you than teaching Kelvin Banks Jr. a new position. You could just put these guys back in their natural positions, which I think is the benefit of Talaiasi Fuang. So that's how I see the tackles shaping up. The two other guys that are absolutely sure, Eric McCoy at center, and then right guard is going to be Cesar Ruiz. So I'm jumping around. I'm not going left to right. I'm building the suspense. I'm sorry. At left guard, though, that's where my big question mark is. 2 weeks ago, I would have told you Dylan Radins. But the more that I have gone into digging into Kellen Moore's offensive scheme and the run schemes that are working in the NFL right now, you look at Philadelphia, you look at Baltimore. Big guards are a big part of that success. And typically converted guards that were tackles that moved inside. These guys are being asked to pull. They're being asked to run those stutters, those weak side counters, get up ahead of the rusher, all those other things. And so I'm starting now to lean a little bit more towards Trevor Penning at left guard, which is something I've pushed back about a lot because I think if you have a guy at tackle and then you move them inside, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. There's no guarantee that's going to help Trevor Penning. I think it's worth a shot. I think it's worth a shot with Trevor Penning because you'd probably like to keep one of your first-round pick investments on your starting offensive line, and that might be the best way. That might be the best way to do it. And so, 325 pounds, good mover, great run blocker, aggressive player. That's actually a pretty nice set of qualities to have as a pulling guard. Like you probably like that guy in front of you, right? Like that would be a guy you wouldn't mind running behind. And so, I'm kind of leaning now towards the idea of the converted tackle to guard, much like Mekhi Becton in Philadelphia last year. Baltimore has a similar player last year, and these guys were 350, enormous players. Trevor Penning's not that guy, but at 325, he's one of the biggest offensive linemen they have.
Right.
And so if they can do that, get him pulling and get him active in that run game that way, I think that might be something that helps him with his career and maybe explains a little bit about why the Saints weren't willing to pick up his fifth-year option as a tackle, because now if they can get him converted to a guard, that contract becomes a guard contract instead of a tackle contract.
Yeah, then that is going to be a completely different contract. Obviously, tackle is going to make more than guards. I know this because fullbacks make less than running backs.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yes.
I need to ask Kellen. I haven't asked Kellen yet what the role of fullback is in his offense, but when we get back out there for OTAs, I have that written down as one of my questions because I really, really want to know because Adam Prentice is still on that roster.
Yeah,
and so I'm really curious to see what he feels is the use of that position.
Just hold it down for us, Ross. That's all we can ask. Just ask the question, and at least somebody's talking about fullbacks. Ross, hey, you're the man. I know you're out there. You're in the mountains. Woke up a little bit earlier, already up and doing work there. So we appreciate your time as always, sir.
Always a pleasure, man. Thanks so much for having me on. You take care, stay safe, and I'll talk to you here soon.
All right. Again, the great Ross Jackson, Locked On Saints. Also does big things for us here at LouisianaSports.net. Check out the website. He's always got a new article up. And it sounds like the Saints are going to stay with young quarterback room, which is certainly something I want to continue to talk about. We'll take our final break of hour number 1, and we'll come right back here on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, go to BoudreauxElectrical.com. BoudreauxElectrical.com is the website. You can request a free quote right there in the top right of the corner. And as we all know, like right now, the last thing that you want is for your power to go out and you not to have a plan in place, you not to have a backup, because it already started, right? It was hotter than a tin roof in Kansas City in the summertime this weekend, okay? You do not want to be without your air conditioner. You don't want to be stuck having to have ceiling, like the fans out and having to have ice buckets. No, go ahead, call Boudreaux's, get that whole home generator ready to go. You call the number in the North Shore, 985-397-1562. In the greater Baton Rouge area, that number is 225-300-9389. Go to the website today, BoudreauxElectrical.com.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Welcome back to Off the Bench.
Don't mess up this great song with that glass breaking or whatever that was. Yep.
It's our Stone Cold open.
Ooh.
Well, now if we added to the Stone Cold,
Wait, that's not a bad idea.
No, that theme music's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ready to raise some hell.
I don't
Stone Cold
hate
Steve
that
Austin.
for a hour open.
No, I don't hate it. If it's done more than just the glass sound.
Yeah.
God,
So
what
we're
was the
keeping
tagline?
Sabotage for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I can't get away from
But I don't hate Stone
that.
Cold Open.
Yeah, me neither.
We need one more though.
God,
and I was
his
listening to music
tagline?
this weekend trying
It was
to
something when you hear the glass, that's your ass, or something like that with Stone Cold. I don't know. We'll figure that. I like that too. Look at you, Tay-Tay. Well done. All right.
had a good idea for once.
Twice. You've had at least two.
At least.
Saints quarterback situation. Tyler Shuck, as we know, rookie, second-round pick. Spencer Rattler, second year. Jake Haener, third year. Hunter Deckers, undrafted, free agent rookie, had a tryout, made the team. Cool story. He's on the roster, so we're going to mention him. Don't know, obviously where that ends up. So you got a couple of different strategies that you can have. You can go ahead and say, hey, not right now technically, but you can, down the road, hey, Tyler Shuck's our guy. We selected him 40th overall. That's why we did that. He's our guy moving forward. You can have the open competition. Hey, we got 3 guys. They've all had starts in the NFL. It is going to be a competition. We'll name a starter the second week of training camp, which is not typically how it works in the NFL. That's more of a college vibe, but you have 3 young guys that are fighting for the same job. You also can still consider a veteran option. An Aaron Rodgers is still out there. It doesn't even have to be like an Aaron Rodgers. It can just be somebody that's a 5th, 6-year pro. They've got 10 starts under their belt just in case it hits the fan. So I want to go around the room. You tell me what you think the best case scenario is for the New Orleans Saints. Alondra, we'll give you first crack.
I think the quarterback room that you have right now, your best case scenario to me is probably Tyler Shuck, just because of, and I get that Spencer Rattler and Jake Haener have already been in the league for a couple years now, but his experience feels a little more, because he's 26 years old. And, I don't know how old Spencer Rattler is.
He ain't 26.
Okay, wait.
He's not 26.
I'm giving too long of an answer. Tyler Shuck is my answer.
No, it's good. No, you're good. Tay-Tay?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be Shuck. I think that, there's going to be an open competition, but I think Shuck's going to have to lose that competition. I think if, him and Rattler neck and neck, Kellen's going to go with his guy. Everyone says, well, the Saints still haven't drafted a quarterback in the first round. Shuck's still the highest since Archie Manning at 40 overall. I mean, they invested a lot of draft capital in him. I think it's going to be him. If I'm Jake Haener, I am looking over my shoulder at Hunter Deckers. He's a talented player. He's 6'2", he's 230 pounds. Haener's a little undersized. I mean, if they're keeping 3 QBs, I think there's a chance Haener doesn't make this roster, but I definitely think it's going to be Shuck followed by Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to select Tyler Shuck at 40, you're not going to bring in a veteran quarterback. You would have already done that because, this is a great time for that quarterback to get the locker room. You've had some OTAs, different things already. So if you haven't done it, I don't think you're going to. Tyler Shuck's different than the other quarterbacks on this roster as well. Spencer Rattler, Jake Haener, not big guys, not tall guys, small frames. Tyler Shuck is every bit of 6'5". He's the difference maker at the quarterback position. I truly think it is going to be his team. We'll probably not hear it in the media, but it is going to be the case. So I agree there. Tyler Shuck looks like he will be the Saints quarterback. All right, Bill Bender to kick off hour number 2 of OTB.
Off the bench.
K to Z Interiors and Outdoor Living. The website, ktozblinds.com. The phone number, 225-791-1220. I can't tell you how happy we have been with K to Z. And it's not just the outdoor shade. You hear me talk about it because it still just blows me away. And so many different times it's had a different purpose, the versatility of this thing. If you want to raise it just halfway to block out the sun, but you still want that outside feeling. If you want to drop it down all the way, it's going to cool off your patio, cool off your living room, save money on your energy bills as well, which as right now, as it gets hotter, that is going to be crucial. But just like a couple weekends ago, right? Celebrating my birthday. We had family in town, family from all over the country. It's like, let's have a crawfish boil. We dropped the shade. We enjoy crawfish. We're talking. We're hanging out. We're having a great time, and we're not sweating to death. And you can have that as well in your backyard. KTOZBlinds.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
By Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here on Monday, May 19th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect partly cloudy skies with a high of 90 in hour 2 of today's show. Bill Bender hops on the show at 8 a.m. We'll talk some LSU football, and Roddy Jones will join us at 8:30. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench.
This is what we have been waiting for. The hype is over.
Off the Bench.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester.
All righty, welcome back into OTB here on this Monday morning, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. And as always, my pleasure to catch up with our next guest. It is one of my guys, Bill Bender of The Sporting News at BillBender92 is the handle. Give him a follow there on social media. Bill, always a pleasure, sir. Hope you're doing well this morning.
Yeah, it was a long day yesterday. As you know, you've been here. I was on. Bella had 4 lacrosse games, and Grant had a lacrosse game at 7 o'clock.
In the morning or evening?
Evening.
Oh.
Bella started at 8 a.m. in the morning. So Kimberly and I are definitely like be awake this morning. I'll do my best though. I had a lot of coffee. I should be fine.
Oh, so Bill, lacrosse is getting, it's bigger in the South, and we certainly have schools that are doing it, and I've got a facility that I'm part of, and we're doing it at our facility as well. It hasn't quite made it down here like it is up in Ohio, but that feels like every time I talk with you, you are doing something lacrosse related. It feels like how we treat baseball maybe down here.
I think that's the good comparison. And I don't know that, when you talk about college baseball up here, it's fun. And I'm not saying it's not good, but, I know how serious you guys take it down there, where that this is that time of year in the sports calendar where when you're flipping through the ESPNs, for example, one channel's on the softball tournament, one channel's on the baseball tournament. And then, lacrosse was on ESPNU over the weekend. Notre Dame had a really bad collapse against Penn State. Penn State was down 6 late. But so I think that's kind of becoming our thing in Big Ten country in the spring. And that's fine. I mean, it's great that you have, for you, it's got to be great because that means you can bring in other young athletes to do a sport there.
Yeah, no question about it. I'm actually having a lot of fun kind of learning the sport, watching the tournaments that we have out at our facility. You can be a little violent with a stick. Who doesn't love that in sports, Bill?
For sure. And then, for us, our son's in a goalie, and that's its own. I think I need to write an article on this at some point. Whether you're playing soccer or hockey or lacrosse, whatever sport it is, when you're a goalie parent, it is a different level of stress. It's not like I always tell him you're the one in the cage, you're the one performing, but I'm still going to be nervous for you because part of it is, will he get hurt? Will he do this? It is nerve wracking, but when you watch him play, it's a lot of fun. And I'm sure it's like that for other parents as well.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, the nerves I have watching my children compared to when I played, it is not even close. I was never nervous as a player, always nervous as a parent there. So certainly feel that, Bill. Hey, you mentioned Penn State, but I don't want to talk Penn State lacrosse. Let's talk Penn State football because they've got high expectations. And they're a team that, they made the semifinals last year. They had a fantastic year. But now, some of the narrative, and you and I talk about it on off campus all the time, it's not like to have a nice season. It's to win a championship. And they probably are going to leave Big Ten Media Days as the favorite to win the conference. They played for the conference title a year ago. Are you in the same belief right now with that team? Do you think that's who they can be, that's who they are, and they're ready to finally take that next step and win a Big Ten title, play for a national championship?
Well, I mean, so there's a chance they'll be ranked number one in the AP poll. I don't know if they will. The last time they were number one in the preseason was 1997, and they had a loaded team that year that lost to Michigan. Now, here's one thing to consider. Of the teams that I think will be ranked top 6 or top 7 in that poll, Texas, Georgia, Ohio State, Notre Dame, I think, Penn State's the only one that has a returning starting quarterback in Drew Allen out of those top 5 teams, unless Clemson makes the top 5 with Cade Klubnik. So when you have that all-in moment, it's dangerous because, to me, they've got to beat Ohio State. They haven't beat Ohio State since 2016. That's the game that I'm circling for Penn State this year.
Just as you know, and again, we talk about this all the time, there's something about taking that final hurdle. I'm not just talking about Penn State. I'm talking about for a lot of teams, to make that final jump, to get into that place where you're playing, winning national championships. And we have seen teams do it before. We have seen teams get up there and not be able to make that final jump. And so Penn State certainly probably the one that's going to be magnified the most this year, kind of in that category. But they got to deal with the Ohio State Buckeyes. Who knows what Michigan is going to be. Hey, and Illinois is a team that I love my guy Bielema, and that's a team that's going to be a top 15 team in the preseason. So I want to ask you about maybe where you and the Oregon Ducks are going to be right there. I still have to tell my mind, put them in the Big Ten, but where do you think the pecking order is going to be if it is going to be Penn State? Who are the teams right beneath them that are going to challenge them?
Well, Ohio State, obviously. And then, with what they have coming back, anytime you can not rebuild, but reload around Jeremiah Smith on one side and Caleb Downs on the other, you're going to be fine. Oregon, I'm really interested to see how Dante Moore does because they still have more than enough pieces. And like you said, I have to catch myself and say, oh yeah, Oregon won the Big Ten last year. That's weird, but they did. Very interesting. It could be top 10 with Luke Altmaier coming back and what they have on the defensive side of the ball. Gabe Jacas was a big return guy that didn't go to the NFL draft. And I'm interested in Michigan because of Bryce Underwood. I don't know that they have the receivers that they need, and they've lost after this good comparison to LSU, like in 19 and 20. So they lost the second group from that national title team. How are they going to reload from that when you lose that much talent from two classes?
Yeah, it's always going to be like a question, and that's why high school recruiting is still so important to me. And EJ and I have this debate all the time. I'm like, look, you can win a lot of games if you do a deep dive into the portal more than you do high school recruiting. I don't think that you can win championships right now. And you go back and you look at Ohio State, you look at Michigan, you look at Georgia, the teams that have won the last couple of national championships, they've dabbled in the portal, but Bill, their foundation is still out of high school. And so that's, if you're Ohio State, that's what you're kind of leaning on. Sure, you've got Caleb Downs, and you went and you got a quarterback out of the portal that won you a national championship, and you got a running back. But if you look at Ohio State, it was Sawyer, it was Travion Henderson, it was Emeka Ibuka. It was the guys that you got out of high school that were the foundation of your team. And so I know the Buckeyes lose a ton, but that's a place that has been top 5 recruiting rankings for the last however long you want to put on it. And so that's one of those unknown things. We don't know how those players are going to step in, and are they going to be able to replace those guys, but the foundation is there.
Well, okay, so your national title team, I'm assuming I'd go back and look, but you guys, it was a different era where you were stacking up really loaded recruiting classes, and you played with a bunch of NFL guys. I referenced that 2019 LSU national championship team. There was a reel going around last week where you saw the number of first-round picks that were in that LSU-Alabama game that year.
Yeah.
Well, most of those guys were LSU recruits. Now, you brought Joe Burrow in. You supplemented him in the transfer portal. But I think the best teams stack up recruiting classes, use the portal like free agency in baseball. Add the right guys.
Yeah.
And then you go from there. And that mix is probably – I agree with you. The mix is the best way to build a program, in my opinion.
Catching up with a guy, Bill Bender of the Sporting News here on OTB. Bill, all right, let's go to the SEC. And I want to ask you right off the top, because it's always a great perspective from you being in Ohio, but being a national writer, so certainly your eye hustling what's going on here in the SEC. What are your preseason, as we sit here on May the 19th, expectations for the LSU Tigers heading into this college football season?
Well, the opener's huge, and you guys are no stranger to huge openers. And I'm actually kind of debating. So we're going to have our top 25 quarterbacks for 2025 come out here on Wednesday, or maybe tomorrow, Tuesday. So I better get this article done. But I'm struggling where to put Garrett Nussmeier, honestly, because I know he's going to be one of the top 5, but ordering that top 5 is really tough. So, I think he's right there. I'll ask you, would you put him ahead, behind, right next to Cade Klubnik and Drew Aller? That's where I'm at. I'm having a hard time sorting those guys out.
Bill, I will tell you this. Drew Aller still has a long way to go for me to be in that conversation, because the talent's there, but also the decision-making, the processing. And he's athletic, right? He's a guy that can do a lot of different things. But I go back and I've watched that Orange Bowl film 10 times, and the stat not completing a pass to a receiver, sure, some of that falls on the receivers, but it also falls on the quarterback, and going through his progressions and being late getting to the secondary read. So I look, and this is no bias, this is just my film breakdown. Cade Klubnik and Garrett Nussmeier, to me, are ahead of Drew Aller, and I don't really have it close.
Well, I think for Drew Aller, it's going to be, can he do this in the big game?
Yeah.
And that's followed him for the last couple of years. Again, not all on him. You got to give the guy a couple guys to throw to. But when you're less than 60% in all the playoff games, and then against Ohio State in the regular season, and the previous year Ohio State Michigan games, he struggled. Yeah. So I think that's the big question there. For Garrett Nussmeier, I think he was as hot as any quarterback at the end of the year last year, can he cut down on the turnovers a little bit? I think that there's a little, I'm a Packers guy. There's a little Favre in his game, a little bit of a gunslinger in his game. And then I think Cade Klubnik's just underrated, man.
I do too.
Really good last year. Has to play better against the SEC teams, though. So that's what's on the line for him when they play against LSU in week 1.
So I've kind of given this comp for Nussmeier. He's Jay Cutler with better body language.
I like it. Jay Cutler, years of playing against Jay Cutler as a Green Bay fan. But no, I think there's a little bit of that there. And the potential in that offense, when you have the receivers that they have, he averaged over 300 yards in LSU's last 3 games. Yeah. So I like him a lot. And now Aller, I think, despite the talk about the big games, you have to give him some credit for the full body of work. He has won a lot of games as a starter. And it kind of ties into your recruiting discussion. Clemson and Penn State can say, we got a return in our investment from these 5-star guys. Klubnik, Aller, they've taken those teams to the playoffs. They've stayed at the school. They're probably both going to get drafted. I guess that's the new, for me, standard of did you get what you got out of a quarterback instead of having them go out of the portal.
Yeah, and getting back to, you mentioned the opener there for LSU, for Clemson, and the quarterback battle. It's going to be one of the most anticipated games of the year. I know it's in week number 1 because both teams are going to be in the top 10 preseason. Both teams think that they're going to be in the college football playoff, Heisman Trophy contenders, all of that. But where would you put that game? Because I know you've got Ohio State and Texas as well, but most important non-conference game. And now it doesn't have to be in week 1, Bill. It can be, we got the SEC ACC challenge at the end of every year as well. We got some other good non-conference games that are going to be in week number 2. But which one would you call, not even maybe what you think is going to be the best game, but the most important non-conference game of this college football season?
Well, I think they're both going to happen in week 1. Ohio State, Texas is super important. Don't get me wrong. But I think the loser of that game still has out. I think that's the most glamorous week 1 game, especially with Arch Manning coming up here. It should be in prime time. I'm sure you and Bobby have argued about this, but
yes, no big game should be at brunch. Let the people hydrate and be, lubed up and ready to go for that game at night.
Why can't we watch Ohio State, Texas, and LSU Clemson at night at the same time?
That's
because
fine.
we have. I always pull a second TV up.
Me too.
I can do that. So
I'll be working the game, but I'll have it up on my phone.
I'll probably be in the shoe, as you know, but I will have LSU Clemson up on the phone as well. Now, impact though, LSU Clemson's huge. It's huge for all those reasons I mentioned about Clemson. Can they beat an SEC school? Their losses last year, who were they to?
Yeah.
Texas, South Carolina, Georgia. They looked really poor in the opener. LSU, just a huge year for Brian Kelly, and the constant is Brian Kelly on the hot seat talk, which I think is absurd. But, it is coming off a 4-loss season. They're going to need to have a big year. I think Texas A&M, or not Texas A&M, Miami, Notre Dame is another one to watch. Because Notre Dame's schedule, always a conversation. Miami with Carson Beck. That would be like the bronze medal game to me on week 1. So, it's loaded. That's the good part. We're sitting here now, and, that Labor Day weekend is going to be awesome.
Yeah, no question about it. Cannot wait to get there. And when you have a big game to build up, which we do here locally, LSU going on the road, a team you played in a national championship game 6 years ago, Heisman Trophy quarterbacks, the fight for Death Valley naming rights, LSU, Big Death Valley, Clemson, Little Death Valley. We'll throw that out there. But all of that is on the line in the opening week. Cannot wait to get there. Hey, Bill, you're the man. We appreciate your time as always. I'll catch up with you this week on Off Campus, and enjoy the carpooling to lacrosse this week.
Well, thank you so much, Jacob. I'm trying to get it. I'm going to sneak a nap in later today. Thanks so much for having me. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Again, Bill Bender of the Sporting News, at Bill Bender 92 is the handle there. Give him a follow. Drew Aller to me, man. And I know, look, Bill's a Big Ten guy, and everybody in Big Ten country loves Drew Aller. He's a specimen, and I get he can make all the throws. You can't watch last year's tape and tell me that him and Garrett Nussmeier are in the same category. Cade Klubnik's in a different category than Drew Aller. I think Drew Aller looks great in his uniform. I think Drew Aller is going to go out there against Purdue and Rutgers and UCLA, and he's going to have big games. But when you have a college football playoff semifinal game and you don't complete a single pass to a receiver. Now, you had a unicorn at tight end. You got 2 really good running backs, which are back. I get it. That wasn't the game plan. But you go back and you watch that tape. He goes, Warren is his first read, delay, can't ever get to his second read. When he did, it was late. It was a thing that cost him the game at the end. Not cost him, but they were trying to, last drive, make a play, way too late over the middle, throws an interception. Tay, I mean, I know you've watched Drew Aller. Am I wrong in that assessment? Have you seen something from him that puts him in that same category as those quarterbacks?
No, I don't think you're wrong. And, what people need to point out is, everyone says, okay, Garrett Nussmeier's in his first year as a starting quarterback. This was Drew Aller's second year.
Yeah.
And there
really
wasn't the jump
and
there wasn't the jump that you wanted to see. I get it. He's 6'5". He was a 5-star coming out of high school. People had all this. You mentioned Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren's gone now. They haven't done a ton to help him at wide receiver. I mean, they may be a little bit better than that.
Pena from Syracuse is a good player.
Yeah, but I mean, outside of that, sure, Allen and Nick Singleton are back, but how are the weapons around him significantly better than they were a year ago? You would have to convince me a lot to tell me that Drew Aller's going to be better this year than he was last year.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Look, Texas, Ohio State, you can't play that game at noon, by the way. Bill mentioned it there, and he's like, I know you and Bobby have argued. Actually, Bobby's on my side, right? I know big noon kick's a thing. Are you, a big game? A marquee on the blinking light there, just trying to get everybody to watch, which they're going to. It can't be at noon. It'd be 11 Central, by the way, so Texas time. You have no time for the build-up to that game. You're like, yeah, you've had months. There's nothing like game day, right? You start off with a nice little, whatever game, like Miami Notre Dame. That'd be great, early. It's a good game. It's not the marquee game. You let that thing build all day. The anticipation builds, right? And then by the time you get there, whether you're in the number in the stadium or just watching at home, you've had that build up all day long. Clemson, LSU is going to get that. And Ohio State, Texas being at 11 Central time, it's just not going to hit the same. You can't have a big game while you're having breakfast or brunch or whatever. It makes no sense to me. You can't tailgate all day long to have that build up on campus as well. And look, Ohio State's actually, credit to them. They're fighting for more night games because it's just different. And then the viewership's going to be different as well. I'm going to be honest with you. Ohio State and Texas being at that time, I'm going to have it on, but I'm going to be doing other things. I'm going to be doing other things while that game is on and not, locked into every single play like we would be if that thing was under the lights. All right, we will take a break here. We've still got a lot coming your way. We got Roddy Jones set to join us in about 15 minutes from now. Going to break down LSU Clemson as Roddy works for the ACC channel over on SiriusXM. Roddy also played college baseball and football at Georgia Tech. So going to talk some college baseball with him as well. All that coming back your way on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, go to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. So I was taking my Highlander in for maintenance last week, and I'm not even going to lie to you. They gave me a sedan, all right? They gave me a Camry, and at first I'm like, hold up, guys. Wait a minute. I just don't know. I got to go pick up the kids. I don't know if this is big enough. And look, could I fit all 5 in there? No, but I was going to pick up the older boys, and so it was us 3. As y'all know, my older boys are large humans, and it was great. They fit in there, all their backpacks, all their sports stuff in the trunk, and they, had a comfortable ride. And I was bebopping around town in that thing. I felt like I told everybody in here, I felt like I was like a NASCAR driver. I was going speed limit, but I felt like, it drives so smooth. It was so quiet. I really enjoyed driving that over the last couple of days. So many different options. I bring it up because everything's available. Buying new, leasing, renting, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam, and the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Luba Workers Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
Welcome back to Off the Bench.
All right, and welcome back into OTB. Got Roddy Jones set to join us here in a little bit, but before we get there, let's give a little weekend winners.
That's how winning is done.
That's right! We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure. We've got too far.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what?
Are you doing what it takes to win a championship?
Wow, winning.
Well, then I guess there's only one thing left to do. What's that? Win the whole thing.
All right, first weekend winner. It is a former LSU quarterback, Danny Etling, for the Michigan Panthers. 14 of 22, 189 total yards, 3 passing touchdowns there in the UFL. Danny Etling still doing big things in football, springtime football, but it doesn't matter. Danny Etling is a good quarterback, weekend winner.
Shout out Danny Etling.
He began the season as a starter for Michigan, went down with an injury. I think Bryce Perkins replaced him or something. And
from Virginia, UVA?
Yeah, I believe it was Bryce Perkins. Could be wrong on that, but yeah, he's come back, and since he's come back, he's been excellent. Etling's been killing it in the UFL.
My first weekend winner is the 10 inmates that escaped from the jail in New Orleans because, oh my gosh, how do you even let that happen? And then they wrote stuff where didn't you say they just moved like a sink out the way?
They literally
and
just
moved
the toilet and the sink, and there's a massive hole in the wall.
They wrote too easy, LOL, on top of where the hole is.
No, too easy.
That's probably the best part of it.
The spelling
Try to
errors
find it,
was
Tate.
there.
Oh, they didn't spell two right?
No,
T-O.
they always T-O. They didn't put T-O.
That's
They're not
beefy.
teaching them grammar in prison, apparently.
Oh,
but,
man.
yeah, just really funny to me. Even though 7 of them are still on the run. They caught
7?
3 of them.
I saw one they caught in the French Quarter.
So Taylor was telling me that one of them got caught at the Carousel Bar.
That's what Bunky Perkins put. I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, first one, he was at the Carousel Bar at the Monteleone. They caught him like 6 hours later.
Yeah, and you
Look.
can't go somewhere that bougie.
You can't go to the
If you're-
Carousel Bar. They're going to get you.
Right. If you're an escaped prison inmate,
Yeah.
you can't go to the Carousel Bar. It's just like not the place to go.
I mean, he just wanted, I
You
mean,
just want a little drink.
I wonder.
Little happy
like,
hour.
I want to. This is weird, but like when that happens, I'm like, okay, how much time left did you have?
Right.
Because you're getting added a lot,
Yeah,
to your sentence, and so like, I don't know. Everybody's a little different there, but the pictures of that, I think our guy Theo Vaughn was like, I don't know who that 6th guy out is, but the Saints need to call him. You see how fast he was?
Right there.
I didn't see that.
There's your too easy TO.
Oh,
Some of them put their initials. So like
that's
these
so
3,
dumb.
that's their initials.
Why?
Of like which inmate.
What?
But yeah, I mean, literally, look, all they did was move the sink. That hole was already there.
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
Too easy. LOL.
The LOL is what got me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
LOL.
Wow. All right. Well, I mean, 7 of them
7 of them still out there.
still out there. We'll
living
see.
their best lives.
We'll see. Gosh, you know that like everybody like in the prison just embarrassed. And it looks like that's actually like an officer that took that picture. I can't really tell in the mirror, but I'm sure the warden's like, hey, thanks. Thanks for sharing that. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see. Tay.
Yeah, so my first weekend winner, it's going to be Scotty Scheffler. He went from 3 strokes back to win by 5. He was a dominant performance at Quail Hollow for the PGA Championship. Guys, it gets even better because if you remember last year, pulling up to the PGA Championship is the golf tournament where Scotty Scheffler was arrested by the police for trying to drive around all the traffic. So he gets arrested in that one, shows up late. This year, his fate completely turns. He wins the PGA Championship. So weekend winner for me, Scotty Scheffler.
Tay, I know you said you had a loser as well. While I look up my next one.
I have 2 losers. First loser for me, I hate to do this, but my weekend loser is going to be Paul Maneri.
No, you don't.
Paul Maneri is going to be
His
my
old
weekend
ass.
loser.
His old ass. Look, if you're just tuning in this week and you didn't listen, that was the rallying cry. T-Bob loves Paul Maneri like we all do, but after game 1, he had to go for blood, and that's where the old ass part came in. We love Coach Maneri here.
Love you,
Coach
Coach.
Maneri. You're a real one. We appreciate you, but that's where that came from.
So, okay, when the series was over, he had lost LSU. Like, obviously, they had a great season, and he was asked in his post-game press conference, like, what went wrong this season, this series? And he said, we went up against players that are better than ours. That last kid that they threw, talking about Chase Shores, was throwing 99 to 100. I don't have anybody throwing that fast. Their 2 pitchers the last 2 days had over 120 strikeouts. You'd have to add up 3 of our pitchers to get to 120 strikeouts.
Ooh.
He said, how many home runs does Jared Jones have this year? 19. We don't have anybody with 19. Sometimes you just have to be honest with where you're at and what you're up against. The other teams are a little bit more powerful and just have better arms than we do. And we're just not there competing as hard as we can with what we have. I understand that it's been a tough year at South Carolina, but you're going to talk about, oh, well, I don't have the talent on the mound. I don't have the hitters. Who recruited all those players, Paul? This is on you. Like, let's go ahead and throw our players under the bus at the end of the season because you did not do what you were supposed to and you had an unsuccessful season. So Paul Maneri just, I don't have the pitchers, I don't have the hitters. None of them are any good. Like, come on, Paul.
Does Paul coach there next year?
I think maybe next year's it.
Because, I mean, the AD that hired him is no longer in control there.
Wait, how many years did he get? I mean, I'm sure it wasn't that many.
I don't even know, but I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, 6 wins at a place like South Carolina. Like if you won 6 games at LSU, you're not here the next year.
No,
doesn't matter.
5 seasons. So yeah, I mean, it could be an easy out.
Yeah, I didn't think it was very long.
Yeah, that's a place like they haven't been. You know, they won back-to-back natties. They haven't been that, but still they've been competitive. Like even a year ago, like they were still like a competitive team. So yeah,
I mean,
love our guy, but I don't know.
I love him too. Like I really have always been a really big Paul Maneri fan, and great person and everything. But I just don't get where like all parties involved thought that this was a good idea. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah.
He retired for a reason.
Yeah, he retired, and
And yes, he had
certainly
neck pain,
like
but
it ended well here, and won a national championship. Was like doing things for the university, and I get it.
Yeah.
Like, you're a coach, and you want to go out there and prove that you can do it at other places. In South Carolina, it's a marquee program, but yeah, one of those deals where if he wanted to, I'm glad, but also like wish he wouldn't have.
yeah.
So I definitely understand what you're saying there. Weekend winner. This isn't going to matter to any of y'all but me, but I'm getting it out there. Goodison Park, weekend winner. If you don't know what that is, I'm not shocked, but it is where Everton played their home matches in Liverpool, England. It opened up on August the 24th of 1892. 1892, the Grand Old Lady has seen its last Everton match. They built a brand new stadium, state-of-the-art stadium, and yesterday was the last time that they were going to play a home game in Goodison Park. Again, 1892. They go out winning. They beat Southampton 2-0, so they claim victory there in the last ever match. But well over 100 years, the Grand Old Lady, again, is the nickname of the stadium. It's crazy. I've seen Everton play like 5 times. I never made it to Goodison Park, but, I mean, just a legendary facelift here and there, but it is a lot of the same, like, original OG parts. They left a lot of it the same. So shout out to Goodison Park. 1892 saw its last Everton match over the weekend, which was an Everton victory, again, 2-0.
Woo!
Yeah. Go team.
We like Everton.
My favorite soccer. Finished 13th in the EP.
Matters.
Suck it, Gordy.
Yeah. I got another weekend winner.
Oh, yeah.
American Idol.
Oh, nice.
And it's from Addis. Pretty cool. Listen to any of it. I don't watch American Idol.
Like, I like kind of the build up, and then I like fade. I never finish it, but I have support anything that is local. So
yeah.
Shout out to him. I think we can play here on the show.
Well, I couldn't even tell you who. Yeah.
Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you who was in it.
His first name is Jamal.
Actually, I think I did see something like from
R&B.
Mississippi.
So it's
even better, like both my favorites.
Throwback, yeah. The Pittsburgh Pirates are going to be my weekend loser. They lose to a guy named Mick Abel, who made his major league due to a ankle sprain. Abel strikes out 9 Pittsburgh Pirates, but a 3-hitter with 9 strikeouts and 1. Pirates lost. Here's his ERA. 2.95.
You suck.
He's 0-3 in this start.
Y'all didn't get anything.
When people look back at, we know because we've been following. Don't really know, and they look back at it. And nothing the Pittsburgh.
If you're not going to help them, trade him for
44,
ridiculous.
5th among National League pitchers. He is
break. Roddy Jones, my guy from Sirius. Portion of the website there, you can sign up for very easy, very quick. 3 different sizes to choose from. All right, Mike, look, T-Bob's had 2 different ones out there as he gets ready to move to Chicago. He was like, oh, I got to get one for spring cleaning. Wink, wink. I'm like, no, you're not. I know what you're doing. But that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is he called here while we were in studio. We had something to do in Tiger Stadium. And literally, he called him here as we got to Tiger Stadium. And we're down service that you're not going to get anywhere.
It's not just a you're very everything LSU. The updated news and with the of all, now and always. No paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. The buns, the cradle and cool, a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. The lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Optimize your health. Offer specific and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for you, Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
This is Off the Bench.
Don't come down with the sun. I won't let myself. No thoughts of your body running through my head.
All right, welcome back in OTB 104.5 ESPN. Our next guest is my guy, Roddy Jones, colleague at SiriusXM, doing.
Jake, I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Baseball season, which we'll certainly get to. We got, regionals about to happen, conference. ACC teams I want to talk about, but let's start. You know the ACC very well. You played in the conference. You do XM with our channel there, and LSU is opening a pretty damn good one in the Clemson Tigers. So for LSU fans, they to with this Clemson football team, what are some of the things that kind of stand out to you, Roddy?
Well, what stands out to me is it's the best team that Dabo Swinney points his last year in 2020. This has been a that because of the way Clemson recruits and because of the relationships they build, and for people that don't know, recruiting team, they look for not only great players, but they look for great players who are fit. They don't just throw out offers to all the 5 stars. They don't just throw out offers to all the 4 stars. And nothing against teams that do that. Clemson just does it different. So they like to get to know guys over the course of years and years. And I think COVID really messed that up, man, for a couple of years. And so they had more whiffs than they were accustomed to. They obviously whiffed on the quarterback position.
Yeah.
But through changing who they are, both from a coordinator standpoint, somewhat a philosophy standpoint, taking 3 transfers this year, and then just growth, like getting back to their great recruiting. They've stacked that wide receiver room once again. The defensive line is going to be really good. So I'm really excited about this Clemson team, man. Like, it's Garrett Riley's 3rd year as offensive coordinator. Matt Luke, a guy who SEC fans are very familiar with, is the offensive line coach in his 2nd year. Tom Allen, who was a defensive coordinator at Penn State last year, comes over to coach the defense for Clemson, a Clemson defense that was really disappointing last year, all in all. So it's a Clemson team with high expectations, and they should win the ACC and probably make it to a semifinal of the college football playoff if everyone stays healthy.
I mentioned Cade Klubnik, and look, I think every college football fan does know who he is, and he had such high expectations because of the lineage of quarterback that came before him at Clemson, and it didn't start off, maybe how people thought. I thought that was a little unfair to him because of the expectation and because he's a young quarterback. But a year ago, Roddy, I mean, he took a leap into the direction that a lot of people thought he would start his career, which again was unfair, but we certainly saw what made him the high recruit that he was. I mean, this is one of the better quarterbacks in the country. I don't think you'll have a top 5 list that won't have him in that number. And also, like, the receivers for Clemson, they look like they're ready to take a jump as well.
They really do, man. Like, the thing that messed with Cade Klubnik was kind of 2. One, the DJ Uiagalelei whiff was so extreme that he had to play earlier. But 2, like, the lineage, as you said, the lineage of quarterbacks that Clemson has had didn't allow us to give him the benefit of the doubt and time for development. And Clemson has been a great development team. Like, even Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence got better over the course of their careers. Now, they started off as freshmen just as really good players. So we thought that was going to be Cade Klubnik. It wasn't. But a testament to him, man, like, his mental strength to go through the criticism that sophomore year and then early last year to continue to work and to grind and to just get better and better and better, to the point where he played really well in that Texas semifinal game. I love having watched the development of the young man, having talked to him and seen him his freshman year, and then over the course of his sophomore year and junior year. He's just he just really has grown from a confidence standpoint and an ability standpoint. There's a lot of things that he got away with in high school, even at the high level. He played it at Westlake in Texas. Like, even at that high level, he still had things to develop with, and he absolutely did that. So I think that he has done a tremendous job getting better with his reads, getting better being on time, getting better with his placement in the pocket and climbing in the pocket. And that receiving core really helps them. I mean, they as I said, they whiffed on probably a generation of receivers. So they got 2 guys in last year, Wesco and TJ Moore, that really helped them on the outside. And then they've had 2 slot guys the last couple of years, Antonio Williams and Tyler Brown, that are really, really good. Brown was hurt all of last year. Williams was hurt all the year before. And so they just got to keep that group healthy, man. Like, if they do, it won't be – it's not going to have the top-end ability of like an Ohio State's receiving core or an Alabama's receiving core, but it'll have the depth.
A little bit differently than he has in the past. Now, he is Dillingham, the transfer because, used to, he's like, I'm going to retire things. And, it didn't have to be wholesale changes, but it looks Clemson get back to the conversations that we're having, which is playing for national championships.
And he was hesitant to adopt the portal. He was so for him was sort of getting comfortable with he's largely right. Like largely the guys on that roster, but there are always a couple of positions for even the top teams that you can plug guys in, and we've seen that with Ohio State. We've seen it with Michigan. Like we've seen it with those high level teams. They are mostly they're mostly recruit, develop, and build teams rather than wholesale portal teams. So what Dabo is doing and has done throughout his career, like we kind of get on Dabo for being like the curmudgeon, the old man who doesn't want to change. He changes. He's changed it every step of the way. Like he fired Brandon Streeter. He fired Billy Napier to bring in Chad Morris. He fired Brandon Streeter to bring in Garrett Riley. Changed. He obviously fired Kevin Steele to go to Allen, and those. It's slow to change.
Right.
He's a very bright guy. He's not too proud to not be the smartest guy in the room, and he is very intelligent. But he brings in great football minds around him and pays them well and treats them well. So people love him, man, and there's a lot of excitement around this program for those reasons.
All right, Roddy, we got about 60 seconds left here. Real quick, college baseball, 2 teams out of the ACC, Florida State, North Carolina, that try to break up the stronghold that the SEC has on the national championship. Which one makes it the farthest in Omaha, and does one of those teams win a national championship?
I think I would go with Florida State because the young lineup has gotten better and better over the course of the year, and they've had pitching all year. They've got the arm in college baseball in Jamie Arnold. So I would go with Florida State. North Carolina is going to be dangerous, and watch out for Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech won the ACC outright for the first time since 2005. They're the number 1 seed in the ACC tournament. They are playing really well as of late. They can hit the daylights out of the baseball, and they've got a lot more pitching than they used to. So those are the 3 teams that I really like out of the ACC. NC State's in there too, though. Like NC State's a really good baseball team too.
Roddy, you're the man. We appreciate your time as always, sir. We'll catch up again soon.
Jake, appreciate it, man.
All right, Roddy Jones, SiriusXM, ESPN, and as someone who has 5 children, I understand what he was just going through with the children in the background. We'll take a break. More OTB here to wrap up hour number 2.
Off the bench.
It's tough. I have been there. I've had to do it on an airplane before too. That is an uncomfortable situation. What is always comfortable is Pelican Roofing. PelicanRoof.com is the website, and it is a place that is strongly in Lafayette, in Baton Rouge, right? They have offices in both of those locations. And you know exactly what you're getting with Pelican Roofing. You go to the website and you're going to see the 5-star reviews. You are going to see what they can do for you, the quality of work, and just the quality of person they're going to send to your home. I mean, that is right there on the homepage. Something else that is there that is just a great asset is the Instant Roof Quote. What is that? Well, you go there, you type in your address, and it's going to give you an idea, an outline of your roof and what it would cost you to replace your roof. Okay, that is an incredible tool. You're not going to see that anywhere else, and that is, again, right there on the homepage of the website. So go check it out today. That is pelicanroof.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's
Welcome back to Off the Bench.
I don't always wake up in the morning, pour myself a strong. Oh, but when I get lonely, I do. Your memory gets to burning.
All right, welcome back in. OTB 104.5 ESPN. Coming back a little Morgan Wallen all day. It's because that's what Matt Flynn's doing right now. He was at a Morgan Wallen concert, and we sent kind of some messages yesterday, like in the group text, just kind of laying out what the show is going to be today. And I wanted him to kind of get an idea of how it's going to kind of look moving forward. The show is going to change a little bit as far as guests because, full disclosure, T-Bob, that wasn't something that, I don't say he enjoyed it, but he just didn't, guest wasn't his thing. Well, we're going to probably change that here. So I just kind of wanted to give an idea. And we're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then Matt's first message, hours, and I do mean hours later. LOL, sorry, everyone. Just got back out of a Morgan Wallen concert, but I did panic a little bit when I read this because we thought that he was on the show today. And that's what you get with Matt Flynn.
That's what I'm saying. Every text that I've got from him so far, I'm like, wow, this is a very Matt Flynn text.
Yeah, so that's why the Morgan Wallen today, because Flynn's text made us all laugh, and we're like, why not? We love a good theme here on the show. So we do apologize for the short segment. Les Miles was my mentor. Clock management, maybe not one of my best things. We'll get better on there. But when we come back, hold the Mayo. Devin Snow joins the show right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Off the Bench.
All right, go to yourgoodwood.com. Yourgoodwood.com is the website. A little bit different feel for the read than it was on Friday, but you can go to that website today. You can see a full list of services that they can help you out with. No matter, it can be certainly ED, right? But also longevity, anti-aging, PRP, hair rejuvenation. That's something they can help you out with. So All of that's on the website. You got pricing tool as well on the website, so you know exactly what everything is going to cost you. But also, like, I encourage you, pick up the phone, have a conversation with them, because maybe like you don't see it on the website, or maybe when you explain it to someone, you're like, absolutely, we can help you with that. We can get you on a plan. If you've got a question, we have the answer type deal. So I always encourage you to do that. That phone number is 225-4GD-WOOD, 225-4GD-WOOD, and always on the website at yourgoodwood.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's a 9 a.m. here on Monday, May 19th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect partly cloudy skies with a high of 90. In hour 3 of today's show, Devin Snow, Hold the Mayo hops on at 9 a.m. Then we'll close the show out with Ask the Bench. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch it in the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. You can also follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let's go. All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench.
This is what we have been waiting for. The hype is over.
Off the Bench.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester.
All right, welcome back in. OTB on a Monday morning. Monday morning, you know what that means. We're going to be joined by our guy, Devin Snow, Hold the Mayo. Deb, what's going on, man? How we doing this week?
Doing good, man. It's a new day. New era. What's happening, baby?
It is, man. It's like so. It's kind of like it's this weird Twilight Zone situation. And anytime you have like a big transition, it always kind of plays out this way, where the new show doesn't start until like June the 2nd. We got these 2 weeks of just kind of making sure that we still do our job and stay engaged, but it's not going to be the new show. But it does feel a little bit new here. You know what? So I'm sitting on the other side of the desk here, and this is where I used to sit when I did Hanging with Hester, and then I went to the other side, and I'm like, whatever, I'll stay there when I did solo when T-Bob was out. But that's Sandbag and SOB. It is so much warmer over here on this side. It was the frozen tundra because there's this air vent, Dev, that blows right on the other side of the desk. You had my ass out here wearing hoodies in July and August in South Louisiana, and this whole time over here, I actually got like a little sweat going on today on this side.
Yeah, and if you're anything like me, bro, like I don't even care if it's 90 degrees outside, especially in the morning. I just can't help but to put a hoodie on.
I know.
Like something about the house. I mean, I keep it low, probably like mid-60s. But man, dude, I can't.
Whoa,
I can't help
mid-60s.
Yeah.
And look, I appreciate that because I'm like in the same thought process, but you can't hide money, Dev. What's that AC bill talking about?
It's give and take, man. It's the same thing with like water, bro. Like if water is the most thing I consume, I'm gonna drink the best water, right?
That's true.
Well, if I'm in the house a lot, well, I need the AC pumping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just what it is.
No, I'm right there with you. I like to keep like if I can keep it at 68, like I'm feeling good. Tay, are you the one that's like 74?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Or 72 now that I'm married.
He said 72 now that he's married, so that's just because the missus made him turn it down. Like I start to get a little itch on my neck just thinking about 74.
Well, I got a theory too that like the colder it is in your house, the more it keeps insects away, like spiders and stuff, like roaches. Like they don't want to be around that cold air.
That actually makes sense
It
though,
does.
because like
It's
in
science.
New York, they don't have mosquitoes in New York.
That's true.
Right.
So I'm with you.
Yeah.
I never saw a roach now that you're talking about it when I lived in Denver. Them roaches said, hell no, I ain't doing that.
They love
I'm
humidity.
gonna go down. Yeah, I'm gonna go down to the boot where it's hot and humid.
And that's what the most roach-infested state, Louisiana, baby. Congratulations.
Another blue
There's
ribbon.
There's a whole story behind that too. It's like with the termites too. Like we weren't supposed to get a certain kind of termites,
Yeah.
but something happened because we were Port City, to where we were bringing like cargo and stuff, and it brought like a specific type of termite that ain't even in the country. It's only in Louisiana.
Okay, see, that makes sense as well. Like you got all these different ships that are coming from, you know, the Caribbean and South America that are bringing stuff. That makes sense. Look, I mean, OTB science continues here, Dev.
I'm telling you, bro. This ain't just a sports show, but you'll learn something.
You definitely will. Dev, I mean, we hadn't had you on since obviously T-Bob, announced, but obviously you knew the news before it all happened. And I know, like, you're as happy as we are for the big fella and moving on to Barstool and going to be a great deal for him as well.
Yeah, no, and I mean, just the thing about T-Bob, why so many people were so emotional and, having so many nice things to say about it is because it's his presence.
Yeah.
You could feel it. And I don't mean to get like emotional, but you can really feel it when it's not there. You know what I'm saying? So, and not every human on the planet possesses that ability to be so relatable. I'm a type of dude to where I have a hard time like finishing my sentences or explaining what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This dude unraveled it every time. He's just a smart dude. So he's definitely gonna be missed.
He definitely will be, man. And we're still gonna keep up with T-Bob, talk to T-Bob all the time. But certainly wanted to send him off on the right foot, the right way. Certainly deserved that. We're gonna miss the big fella, but Dev, we're so glad to have you still with us here every single Monday. And the news hasn't slowed down either. I mean, you got the whole Derek Carr situation, and the Saints looks like they're not going to bring in Aaron Rodgers. The Pelicans get the 7th pick in the lottery when we thought maybe they were going to find a way to get Cooper Flagg to New Orleans. I mean, I'm not saying it's been good news for New Orleans sports, Dev, but look, I'm going to be honest. Just like,
games,
I know, like zero prime. But just like Whiskey and Wine was better when LSU lost, Dev, your call-in show's better when New Orleans is down bad.
It is, unless it's too down bad. Like at the end of last year when it was
That's
just
true.
Like such bad football, like the reason why we ain't got a primetime game, like that's when it's like people just, man, they just turn on like another state. They'll turn on Lifetime, but they'll do anything to not watch the Saints when it gets that bad. But, I mean, hey, here we are, new schedule, new season, Cardinals' first game. No primetime games, like I said, which is crazy. Like, even Carolina got a Monday night game. But, you know, that's how bad the product was last year, dude.
I know. And then when you don't have, like, a marquee quarterback as well, Deb, that's just how it's going to be. Like, when you don't have that guy that everybody's going to tune in to watch, like, even if you're not going to be good, you'll tune in maybe to watch that guy. Like, the Saints don't have that right now. And in the Saints roster, there's a lot of people out there, like when you look at the power rankings here in the offseason, they have the Saints like 31 or 32. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but that's what the expectation is for the Saints.
Yeah. Dude, I tell you what about this kid, Hunter Deckers? Because I'm not sitting here saying he's going to, you know, pull a rabbit out the hat and wind up being – but, man, something about this dude, like everything I've read about him, people kind of talking pretty good about him. The kid from Iowa State, the quarterback.
Yeah, he is somebody, you know, he had the situation where he got kicked off because of sports gambling as well. But it's not like he's just like from some small school that got misrecruited. Nobody ever really heard of him before, Deb. I mean, he was a starting quarterback in a good program. Then obviously, you know, he had that situation pop up. But, I mean, he's somebody that has the talent to be Iowa State's starting quarterback. Again, it's not like he's like, hey, this junior college guy that everybody just missed on.
Do you think he's better than Jake Haener? I would say maybe.
I mean, I think he brings a versatility that Jake Haener doesn't have. And I'm going to be honest, and I'm sorry, like no disrespect to the guy, but Jake Haener's had his opportunities. There's not been one time where I've been like, oh, yeah, that's why you keep Jake Haener around.
Right.
He hadn't had that moment. So, like, I am more intrigued with Decker than I am with Jake Haener.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, man. I'm thinking it's time to just move on from Haener and maybe give this kid a shot as the third quarter if they're going to keep three quarterbacks, which I imagine they would, because why would you just have two super young quarterbacks, you know?
Yeah, it's such a young quarterback room. I mean, Jake Haener being, you know, the oldest guy in the room, and he's going into his third year, of course. Rattler's going into his second year, and then you got an older rookie, but a rookie quarterback. And like, I thought maybe they would bring somebody in, not an Aaron Rodgers, as we heard over the weekend. Like, that's not the plan. But I thought maybe they would bring in somebody that's like 6 years in, Deb, that's got like 10 starts in the NFL. Is not going to be the guy, but just like to have a calm presence in that quarterback room, even if he was the 3 technically, just to help on the sidelines, help with all the things that happen on game day. Because here's the one thing that I worry about when you have a quarterback competition with young quarterbacks. Whoever wins the job, how helpful is the backup going to be?
Right.
All right, the backup's like going to be bitter that he didn't win the job. He's also a young quarterback, so does he know the things that he has to do? And I have seen how that dynamic works. Like, when I was in San Diego, like, Phillip Rivers came off the field, and he had Billy Volek and he had Charlie Whitehurst, and they would just they would shout out to Clipboard Jesus. They would go after, like, they would go down every series like, hey, here's what I saw. And, like, during the week, they would kind of come up with the cut-ups of different things. And, like, the Saints don't have that right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and, I mean, just young guys in general, I mean, they're more susceptible to think, oh, well, screw this dude. You know what I'm saying? Rather than, hey, I'm going to help this dude. Because they're young, bro. I mean, we all been there.
Yep, it is going to be something that it's going to be a storyline all throughout August, like the battle, the competition, and we'll be on a watch to see if the Saints end up signing like a veteran quarterback. So certainly something to pay attention to. I got to get your thoughts though as we transition real quick to the Pelicans. Number 7 pick. All of us thought they were going to get, like, somehow, some way, find the luck of the Irish and get the number 1 overall pick. That did not happen. In fact, I mean, the Dallas Mavericks, I mean, the whole conspiracy stuff. I know, Deb, that you've done a deep dive into all the things that happened in the NBA draft lottery.
Yeah, it's just interesting, huh? Isn't it crazy how, like, it's the old California treaty, at the end of the day. It's like, hey, you trade one of the best players in the NBA to the Lakers, and wow, look at that. You get the first pick. You know what I'm saying? What was your percent chance, to get the first?
It's like a little bit over 1%.
Unbelievable. But, at the same time, can't be too mad because this has happened for the Pelicans before, too, where they weren't expecting to get the first pick. And, man, it sucks. The 7th pick, I can't even give you a name of who I would want at the 7th pick. Just because, the few guys that I do know about in the beginning of the draft, they'll be gone by then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I saw Alfred Payton yesterday. He came over. He dropped me off one of his jerseys. Shout out to Alfred Payton.
Shout out.
I asked him. Yeah, I asked him. He's like, man, I think they could trade that thing to get to move up.
Yeah.
And then don't sleep on the Pels in the Giannis sweepstakes. Even if they don't get Giannis, even if they just a third team in a trade, they could get somebody.
They could, but Dev, if they mess this up, if they screw up like this trade again, and you get a bag of peanuts, and everybody else gets better when you get worse, tough questions don't even begin. Like you got to get out in front of me, and you got to tell me the plan, and you got to lay it out. Like I need a PowerPoint presentation of what the plan is for the Pelicans moving forward. If there's a trade and Giannis is involved, and you're a third team in it, and you send something of value to somebody else, and you get back some boiled peanuts.
Yeah. I don't know, man. They're in a bad situation, too, because DeJounte Murray is probably not even going to play next year. So they need to get somebody. They can't or they're going to go through the same situation as they did this past season next year because they're just not going to have the talent to put on the court. It's all going to be these young guys that, no offense to them, it's like they're just young.
I don't know. Oh, Pelicans, man, it's just hard. I know.
But, if you build it the right way, look at OKC. I mean, and that's building it the perfect way. I'm still on the Knicks, bro. I got the Finals MVP, Jalen Brunson, plus 8,000 right now. Yes. So I'm rooting for the Knicks all the way, but man, it just doesn't look well for anybody that's got to play OKC.
I know, no, it does. I mean, the way they finished out the Nuggets, and it's a team that's been the best team in the NBA all season long. But this playoffs, you got what? You got a 1 seed, a 6 seed in the West. You got a 3 and a 4 in the East. So it's been outside of OKC, it has been unpredictable. So we'll see how it plays out. This has been a good NBA playoffs, and the game just completely changes. We talked about it the other day. Completely changes when you get into the postseason. Such a better product once you get into the NBA playoffs. All right, Dev, what we got coming up in spread quarters? Anything on on the docket coming up in the next couple of days?
I did HTM Live last night. We do that every Sunday night, 8 p.m. And you could just feel that football season is just getting closer and closer. Other than that, I'll be in all day today. No clue where I'm going. Didn't know last week, and I wound up on the Creole Queen Steamboat, brother. So.
Oh my God, I saw that, and I mean, you went and you visited Chalmette, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the homeland.
I was the only. First of all, I did not know that boat was about to bring me to Chalmette, so it was so funny to find out. And then, I'm the only person from New Orleans on the boat. Everybody else is from out of town, out of state, whatever. I have never seen hundreds of people get off a boat and go to Chalmette. I mean, you would have thought that they just got dropped off in the Bahamas, bro. They were so happy.
We're shout out to Chalmette, but where'd they go?
So they drop you off at the Chalmette battlefield, which is legendary.
Yeah,
legendary. Legendary in the war with the British. That's where we took the British out, bro.
Yeah,
and we kept all the artillery. But anyway, that's where they drop you off, and you pass Domino Sugar, which Domino Sugar is the biggest sugar producer in the country, over 2 billion pounds of sugar. It's crazy.
Yeah, that factory does big things, but it almost looked like a factory that wasn't even open anymore. They just let that thing go.
Exactly. Yeah, that sugar's so good, it's blowing the windows out. You know what I'm saying? It's dude, it's so ugly, but it's so beautiful at the same time.
Well, I mean, I know you don't know where you're going, but you ended up on a boat in Chalmette last Monday. I mean, are we expecting something that's very similar? Have no idea? Do we have maybe somewhat of an idea of a location?
Well, that's what. And no, I don't. But that's what I love about it. Because as soon as I get off the phone with you, I'll just start plotting.
Yeah.
And some of my best episodes, or at least the ones that I had the most fun doing, was last week when I went to the zoo, the aquarium, different places that you wouldn't expect. But I got to go everywhere. Everybody's gonna see me. So if I can figure it out and it makes sense, I'm going.
Yeah, the aquarium recently at least, has probably been my favorite one.
Yeah, shout out to Randy working at the aquarium.
I mean, the to-go box was just chef's kiss.
Yeah.
From the
To-go
aquarium.
box at the aquarium is just insane.
It's very Louisiana.
Yes, very.
Oh, my gosh. No doubt about it. Hey, Deb, you're the man. We look forward to continuing our conversations every single Monday here. We appreciate the time, sir, and enjoy Red Beans and Rice Day and wherever your travels might take you.
All right, my brother. Y'all take care. Appreciate it.
All right, there he is. Our guy, Devin Snow. Hold the Mayo. Again, still going to stick with us every single Monday here on OTB. All right, we've got Eric Sorensen of D1 Baseball set to join us in about 15 minutes from now to kind of break down where he thinks LSU is going to be. Again, D1Baseball.com had LSU as the number 7 overall seed in their projection. Does he agree? Does he disagree? Could LSU go into the SEC tournament needing to do a little bit more work on the resume? And that's about 15 minutes from now. All that coming back your way, though, here on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, as you know, Dos Equis is the official beer of OTB. And, I mean, there's not a bad time to grab an ice-cold Dos Equis. We say it all the time, and it is not just lip service. I mean, it is the perfect beach beer, lake beer, shower beer, game beer, like whatever. You're going to enjoy it. I mean, shout out to Alondra for setting that up for my surprise 40th birthday. I mean, we are still enjoying those Dos Equis out of the refrigerator. And, look, you're going to enjoy it every single time. So, like, whether you're tailgating outside of Tiger Stadium, watching the Saints on a Sunday, or just hanging out with the crew by the pool, whatever it might be, you know Dos Equis brings that bold flavor, smooth finish that's always going to be legendary. Next time you grab a beer, next time you have a gathering, it is always the way to go. Drink responsibly and always grab a Dos Equis.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar.
This is Off the Bench.
Girl, I always pictured it'd be pouring down rain.
All right, welcome back in. It is OTB here on this Monday morning, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. We had like a whole little LSU recruiting segment that was planned, but we're gonna get away from that because Alondra, you just got a text from our guy T-Bob Abear, and it is the most T-Bob Abear text possible.
We were talking about the most Matt Flynn text earlier.
Yes.
This is the most T-Bob text that I've ever gotten. He asked me to print something out for him, and then he goes, "This real ID is turning into a disaster. I have no social security card, no birth certificate, and no passport." I said, how do you not have any sort of identification?
Where's your birth certificate?
Where's the birth? No, birth certificate, I can kind of understand. Where's your social security card?
Yeah, you got to have that.
Like,
that's a big boy.
You are going to get your identity stolen without your social security card.
Like we have a place that we keep all those things
Yes.
in our home.
He doesn't have a folder? No.
Yeah, like
he said he had them all in his fanny
little
pack.
manila folder. Yeah.
Like, why are you
Why are you
holding
keeping that on your
documents?
person?
Right.
Well, that's the funny part.
And he's got to have that to travel. You can't travel. May the 7th was the start date for the real ID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then I told him the other day, I'm like, okay, well, if you don't have the real ID, you can do the passport. Lost that. Like, dude, like I've bought a passport before. They're like $200. Like, you just lost it.
What?
Well, and then when Alondra asked him, like, how do you not have any sort of ID? He goes, life weaves a funny web. And by that, I mean, I think it is all in my fanny pack. Where the hell is your fanny pack?
I think he lost it at Don Juan, but like, I just don't get why they were all in your fanny pack and not somewhere safe. Like in a folder, under a mattress, in a shoebox, anything but your fanny pack on you.
Yeah, you can't.
What are we doing?
You cannot have it on your person. That is something like if you misplace it, which T-Bob's done with the fanny pack multiple times. Now I'm a little worried because he had things he had to do, like up in Chicago this week. And if you don't have a real ID,
house.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any sort of ID for that. You have to have that.
Oh, my God.
Because I just went through that process a couple years ago.
Yeah.
You don't have to have all of it. You have to have some of it.
You got to have some of it.
And he has nothing. He doesn't exist.
I do like the fact that Alondra said, I don't work for you anymore.
He asked me to print something. I said, I don't work for you anymore. And then I printed it, and I said, that'll be $100.
Yeah. Does he not have a working printer? It's probably already packed up.
Well, my thought was,
is his stuff still all in?
He hasn't come back.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in that office.
Because he had a original Volume Network had a badass setup for him for snaps.
Yeah.
That they allowed him to keep, and that's all still in his office. I was hoping like maybe he'd forget that for us, but
if he forgets something, I call the 2-foot crawfish. I love the 2-foot crawfish.
Oh, for the
he's got
the
just a random little wood platform with a 2-foot crawfish. Don't know why it's in there, but I want it.
I've seen that.
Yeah, we could make that
Just
like
claim stuff.
A green room as well for OTB.
Oh yeah.
Like I would love to have more people like in studio with us, hanging out, sitting for a segment, maybe an hour. That's a little green room.
Yeah.
Put a couch, put some TVs.
He's got
There's already a couch in there.
Yeah.
He has one.
Well, I'm talking about like a green room for like an artist.
No, I get you.
You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
Alondra.
yeah. We can make that happen.
Yeah. It's a big office. We got to hide those wires, though. Oof.
I hate those
They're
wires.
everywhere.
They're an eyesore.
They are bad.
Yeah.
They're bad. It's like I'm that person that when I hang a TV, I cannot have a wire hanging down.
I can't be looking at that.
Look, we got to put it through the wall. It's easy. Get a drill bit, drill it, wall it, fish it out, bottom, done. You don't have wires showing, do you, Tay-Tay? I don't like the way you're looking at me.
Wait, like at home?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
So do we think T-Bob will be able to get a real ID in time to be in Chicago for when he has to be
Here's the thing.
T-Bob will be late.
I had to get one a couple weeks ago before I left for Frisco, and I did it very last minute, kind of like he is. It took me 2.5 hours to get the real ID, and then I get up there and I give them all my stuff. Like I gave them my birth certificate. I had my birth certificate. I gave it to them. I gave them like some mail from the past 60 days is what they needed, and then one of the pieces of mail didn't have the unit number on it, and they were like, I can't accept this. And I was like, you're going to accept it, though, because I've been waiting 2.5 hours, and I need to fly out tomorrow. So
at that point, they're getting
work.
in the car with me, and I'm just taking them to my house and showing them that I live there.
So if you have to go get your real ID, PSA, take every single paper that you can think of. I'm being so serious.
He's not. No, poor T-Bop. He's going to show up unprepared. I know he is.
And
he's
we
going to
told
take
him
the time
this
to
the
go
other
do it.
day.
He's not going to have anything.
Oh my gosh, I'm reading some of these in the chat, and Justin just says, just saw him leaving Guarantee Media in the murdered out mini. Traffic is brutal. So was he here?
Yeah, he had to grab the
That's why
paper.
Alondra printed it out. I guess he came up here, grabbed it, and
He didn't say what's up?
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
know,
saying.
That's a hoe-ass move.
That is a
Because
hoe move.
you know the printer is right
It's
there.
right there by
there.
us.
Yeah. Because I was
Bruh.
wondering, like, when's he going to come get it? Because,
Like, not
he
even
made
like
it-
knock and be like, what's up?
Right.
I'll let your boy.
Didn't poke his head in,
Something.
nothing,
He made
no.
it seem like it was urgent. Like, he reminded her, he's like, hey, when you get a minute, can you print it? So I'm like,
Wow.
okay, he's not here yet, but
Wow.
he took off and did not say hey.
That hurts.
Couldn't even pop in for
He already
like a
forgot
5-minute
about us.
segment.
Already.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Just gone.
I know.
Now Mincy's his people.
Yeah. Which
Wow.
great company.
Yeah. Old Miss.
No
love
offense.
that
T-Bop's
song.
like the type, he's like, look, this was a great time of my life. I'm past it.
Man, that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Like, where's the foxhole? Gone.
We always knew.
Dirt on top of it.
We always knew.
Filled in. All right. Well, that hurts.
Yeah, like couldn't just say hey. I didn't even like couldn't just walk in.
I'm hurt. Like, I'm honestly hurt by that. All right. It's fine.
Did
You
we
know
cold-
what?
Did
It's
we
fine.
cold called him already?
It is fine. What?
Do we cold call him already? And be
No,
like,
I don't even want to hear from
Okay.
him right now.
I get it.
My man didn't even like.
I know. Asked me to do something for him. I said I don't work for you. Did it for him
Crazy.
anyway, and
And
couldn't
then
even
didn't
come
even
say
say-
hi.
Literally 10 feet away from us.
Right.
And didn't come say what's up. It's
Fake.
all right.
Fake.
Cool. Cool, guy. I hope you don't get your real ID, pal.
I know. I hope so too. Now,
I hope
actually.
you got to drive to Chicago.
Yeah.
Twice. The murdered
Oof.
out Mini. Shout out All Star Toyota. That's just
Oh.
Ho energy. All right. We've got Eric Sorensen, D1 Baseball, who's actually on the West Coast. So he's waking up early just to be with us. That is not ho energy. That's a real foxhole move right there. Eric Sorensen, D1 Baseball, when we come back.
Off the bench.
Man, didn't even say like, I don't even like y'all anymore. I'm out. Something. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. Buying new, leasing, renting, everything's available. You see it right there if you're watching on YouTube. Sedans, hybrids, midsize, full-size SUVs, multiple trucks, Sienna minivan, who you might see driving away from Guarantee Media when he doesn't say hello to his friends. Forgot about us already. All-Star's never going to forget about you, though. They're always there for you. And summer vacation might be this week. Probably next week, but might be this week. But it's okay. If you want to rent a Toyota, Miss Lisa Sessions is always there for you. You call her. You tell her what you're looking for, and that rental's going to be available. Per-day rental prices. Again, no matter what you need, big or small or whatever, it is there for you. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. and the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been.
Welcome back to Off the Bench.
All right, welcome back in. It is OTB here on a Monday morning. Let's talk a little college baseball. One of my favorites, Eric Sorensen, D1 Baseball at Stitch_head is the handle on social media. Give him a follow there. Eric, you're the man. We appreciate you waking up early with us. What's going on, sir?
Yeah, man. Thanks, Jake. You know, nothing wakes you up faster. I've actually been up about an hour and a half. Nothing wakes you up faster than hearing your dog retch as she's about to throw up.
Oh.
So I scramble out of bed and ran her into the backyard, the poor thing.
Oh.
So yes, I've been awake for a while. I'm good though, man.
I've got 5 kids, and still there is nothing when you hear that noise from the dog that will make your feet not even touch the ground as you levitate to try to get it outside.
Poor thing. Just to report, though, she's doing fine now.
Okay.
She ate a little grass, and she's doing okay now.
Eric, man, this is our favorite time of the year. We are getting ready for the postseason conference tournaments, find out who is going to host the regionals, who's the top 16 seeds, who's the top 8 seeds as they look to try to get to the super regionals. And so obviously being here in Louisiana, we'll start with LSU. They went to Columbia, South Carolina. Everybody thought they needed to win at least 2 of 3 to be able to kind of shore up one of those top 8 national seeds. They got that done.
Yeah.
For you, is that enough for LSU to be able to be a top 8 seed?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wasn't too concerned about, well, I guess if they would have gotten swept or something, that might have been an issue. But I know their RPI is right at number 8, is right at, but a lot of times the human rankings can give it a little pull. I mean, that just happens. And LSU was known, they're still number 1 in the D1 rankings. And so, I think it's pretty solid that they're going to be at home for as long as they can until they get to Omaha, or if they make it to Omaha. So, that was I thought that was pretty much a lead pipe cinch as long as they didn't really tank it this weekend.
And, Eric, when you look at LSU, and you and I have talked about the Tigers all baseball season long over on SiriusXM, but as you look at them now and the regular season's done, and you kind of see the way that they're built with the 2 frontline starting pitchers and trying to figure out the bullpen, but a very solid lineup. Kind of what's your view on LSU as we head into the postseason? Maybe some strengths, some things that you still maybe need to see from the Tigers.
Yeah, it's a little weird because the one time I saw them was probably one of their more impressive games of the year. I mean, I saw them beat Tennessee by a run rule in that 3rd game that Sunday. And so when I left Baton Rouge, I was thinking, okay, this team, they're going to Omaha. This is an Omaha second weekend of the season, second weekend of the series type of team. But then you kind of think about it, and Tennessee won the first game, LSU won the first game, Tennessee won the second game, but Tennessee only had one bad inning that made them lose that Friday game. So I think the consistency is kind of what I'm looking for. I mean, because if you look at their 1 through 9, man, they're pretty good. They definitely got some dudes like Derek Carriel at the top, and Jared Jones, of course, he's one of the Player of the Year candidates. The batting order's good. There's been times when it can go a little quiet, and just kind of mysteriously so. And I think that happens for a lot of teams, but it just kind of seems like it's happened one too many times for LSU for me to feel comfortable, But yeah, you're right. The frontline guys, Ianson and Anderson, the two pitchers, have been really great. I think they're gonna probably help with a little bit of the consistency issues as far as pitching and defense goes. But yeah, I would like to see them be a little more consistent at the plate because they got some dudes, man. They got some talent. They just got to make sure they keep playing at a high level.
Yeah, and that's, it's been one of the things we've talked about certainly here is, the lineup can produce, they have, but there has been stretches where you'd like to see them be more productive. And I think, honestly, like, it is going to come down, and it does for a lot of teams, Eric. Like, okay, when your front two guys go, if they split or if you need a third or a fourth guy, as we've seen, like, it always happens. We could go through the long list of LSU baseball history where a guy's had to step up and kind of be that gritty performance that you weren't expecting. I think that's like, okay, who's that guy going to be? Who's the candidate for that guy? And Chase Shores is somebody that started in the rotation. He's been out of the rotation, but he's kind of found himself and he's found a way and he's kind of thriving in his new role. But it's like, okay, if you get to a Game 3 scenario, who's going to be that third guy? It's kind of the biggest question for me, at least for LSU.
Yeah, and Shores is certainly a guy that has, again, we're talking talent, out the yin-yang. But his ERA is north of 5, which is okay, but it's not great.
Right.
I kind of look back to and again, I'm going back to the game I saw against Tennessee, and Kason Evans pitched, I think, 6 innings or into the 7th. Pitched really well. I think he held Tennessee to 2 or 3 hits, and he's a guy that he's only a freshman, and he's going to be a stud in the years ahead. But he showed glimpses that day that made me think, okay, if LSU kind of needs somebody to step up, kind of like maybe like Thatcher Hurd did in that national championship season 2 seasons ago. That might be a candidate for it, and of course Shores is worthy as well. So yeah, somebody who's it's kind of that we've talked about this before. I think with you on your Sirius XM show that somebody always kind of steps and comes out of the woodwork at this time of year, and so that's a great point. And I'm kind of looking at Kason Evans maybe as being the candidate to do that.
All right, let's kind of take a step back just from LSU, Eric, and let's look at maybe some of the rest of the country. Certainly the top 10 is still very SEC heavy, but you do have some teams out of the ACC. You've got some teams out of the Big Ten. It's still weird to say when you're talking Oregon, UCLA, the Big Ten. Got to get used to that still, certainly in college baseball. And then Oregon State, who's like an independent. Like there's some teams right now that are trying to break up the chokehold that the SEC has on college baseball. So if I was to ask you, of those teams not in the SEC, which one do you think has enough juice to be able to get that done?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that will be able to that you can look at, but certainly the SEC is going to lead the way with a lot of candidates to make it to Omaha. But yeah, man, I've seen Oregon play a couple times this year. Their RPI was always bad, but their human rankings up at number 5. I think D1 Baseball has them at. And they were like a stepper. I don't know if you remember last year against Texas A&M in the Super Regional. They were just like 1 or 2 pitchers away from, because their offense put up some numbers even against A&M. And they think they've kind of solved that this year with Jack Wright is a 6'11" pitcher. It's their Sunday guy. He really shown well against Iowa. That Iowa series really impressed me going up to Iowa, and that big crowds there in Iowa City. So I look at Oregon, and Oregon State still has the moxie to do it. They got the pitching. They've got an offense that is potentially dangerous with Ava Arquette as one of the top shortstops in the country, and those two. And I think you also have to look at like the teams that kind of caught a little fire lately. I look at North Carolina, who ended up going to Florida State, winning 2 out of 3 this weekend. North Carolina's been a little bit quiet to me this season, it almost seems like, but they've caught fire lately, and I think that's a team that could make it to Omaha, make it to the second weekend of the College World Series as well. So yeah, there's still a lot of candidates. I mean, it's not going to be 8 SEC teams in Omaha. I don't think so, at least. But but there's a lot of good teams that are still still hadn't mentioned Clemson. That's another team out of the ACC that's really good. And right here where I'm at, UCLA has played really good baseball down the stretch. So There's a lot of teams that could do it, though, Jacob. Don't put all your money on SEC yet.
What about out of the, air quotes here, mid-majors, even though they certainly play major college baseball? Coastal Carolina, Southern Miss, UC Irvine. We talk about the Anteaters often again on the other show. Like, of that group, like, which one do you think's going to go maybe to Omaha, maybe make that run? And, look, we've seen Coastal go all the way and win a championship.
Yeah. It's funny, Jake, because being on your Sirius XM show last week, we were talking about the UC Irvine Anteaters. Both of us were high on them, and I still am, but they kind of got in a little bit of a rut.
I know.
They lost a little mojo, and they dropped down to 24 in the RPI this week. So they're hurting a little bit, but it's just a speed bump. I don't think it's gonna derail them. But they're definitely going to be a 2 seed now, not a host team. But yeah, I mean, we talked about on that show too. Dallas Baptist, one of the better pitching teams in the country. Coastal Carolina again. Yeah, we number 11 in the RPI right now. They're playing really good baseball this year. We kind of didn't expect it to be this good, but they've been really good. And another team that I didn't mention last week was Northeastern, the Huskies out of Northeastern. Mike Glavin. Mike Glavin's the head coach. He's the brother of Tom Glavin.
Yep.
And they have now I know their competition level's different, but they've dominated at their level, and they have the best team ERA in the country. So that's kind of another mid-major to keep an eye on too.
Actually projected right now to be a 2 seed in the Corvallis regional. Of course, Oregon State would be hosting that, and certainly as a Atlanta Braves fan, certainly I can root for any Glavin, even if it's not Tom there. Catching up with our guy Eric Sorensen, D1 Baseball here on OTB. Eric, something we talked about at the beginning of this show as we were going through, D1 Baseball, the projection, and obviously like pointing out LSU is going to be a top 8 seed, and they came in at number 7. But the thing that we really were stuck on was there's a couple of 3 seeds that nobody in the country is going to want to see. And I think Mississippi State right now, who's projected to be a 3 seed, is probably the leader in the clubhouse of, oh, damn, keep them out of our regional.
Yeah. And, geez, they should give that coach a raise, whoever the coach is there now. But, Mississippi State has just, they've caught fire. I like them a lot, that's for sure. And then you kind of look at other teams like Cincinnati out of the Big 12 has done really well. Oklahoma, I think, out of the SC too.
Frontline starter, they can shut anybody down. Yeah.
They have the Witherspoon brothers up there at the top. That you're right. They can quiet any batting order. And I'm going to give a little shout out to my hometown team, the Creighton Blue Jays. They're a team that's they're on the bubble, but they won the Big East Conference, and Ed Service is in his last year of coaching there. So they're a team that's, I think, won 38 games. They don't win that many games usually very often. So I think they're a team worth keeping an eye on as well.
All right, give us a team right now, and this is tough. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. A team that's probably going to get a top 16 seed, but you think right now just maybe going in the wrong direction or maybe limping into the finish line here that you can see maybe having an early exit. Do you have a team like that?
John, usually my go-to for that is Georgia Tech. But they talk about coaches that are retiring. Danny Hall, he's going to hopefully inspire them to play well. I kind of look at Clemson. I know I just built them up a minute ago, but at the same time, their last 3 weekends. Well, they swept Pitt this past weekend, but they lost series to North Carolina State, Florida State, and Duke 3 in a row prior to that. And so you kind of look at trends like that. I mean, Clemson's at the RPIs in the top 10. I just kind of think, man, and I love Eric Backus. He's a good dude as their head coach, but I just kind of look at them and think, all right, there's a little bit of a pause for thought with those guys. They've just been a little bit cold, so they might be my prime candidate for a team that's going to be in top 16, but they've been scuffling a little. Right. So let's keep an eye on that.
All right, there he is, Eric Sorensen, D1 Baseball, good enough to join us on the West Coast, still waking up early. I hate that the dog had to do that, but it got you out of bed. So glad that the dog's okay as well. Eric, you're the man. We appreciate it.
Jacob, good being on with you. Thanks for sharing the airways.
Absolutely. @Stitch_head is the handle, one of the best handles on social media. Give him a follow there. Eric is somebody that has been in studio with us before, has Baton Rouge ties out there on the West Coast, good enough to wake up super early with us to join us to talk about LSU baseball. All right, we will take our last break of the show, wrap it up like we do every single day with Ask the Bench right here on 104.5 ESPN.
Off the bench.
Go to getgordon.com. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. And when you go to the website, bottom right corner, an online agent is going to pop up. Like as soon as you go to the website, and it's going to pull up and it's going to say, how can we help you today? Any question, anything that you might have, you can get it answered right there. But also the website's always a great tool because right there at the top banner, like different things that they're going to be able to help you with in the courtroom, right? Cases that they can handle, things they've already done, things they've done 1,000 times. Also past client results. So you can check out different cases that they've had. Maybe you're going through something that is very similar or it's the exact same thing. You're going to be able to see what they've been able to do for those here in the state of Louisiana. Like another thing we always tell you about, social media at Get Gordon, to see what they're doing in your local community. That's throughout the state of Louisiana. It is always your area code followed by 888-8888. Get Gordon and get it done.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team color, team swag, and now your very own website, LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Bend Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is Off the Bench.
You say them city boys living in those high-rise condos only left you feeling low. Those little smoke glass fancy cars. So
all right, welcome back in. OTB, one final segment here. Of course, it's going to be wrapping it up with Ask the Bench. Which state gets the most baseball teams into regionals?
State?
I mean, probably like Texas, but if like per capita, maybe Mississippi.
I was
Ole
thinking
Miss,
Mississippi with Ole Miss
State,
and
Southern
State.
Miss.
True. But where is ECU? Is it in North Carolina or South Carolina?
I think we
and
looked this
Coastal
up.
Carolina.
I think it's in South.
Oh, okay.
Greenville, right?
Let me see.
It's in Greenville, North Carolina, I believe.
Is it North Carolina?
Well,
Look
North
that up.
Carolina might Well, actually, I don't know.
North Carolina, NC State.
I don't know, because
Coastal's in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Yep, North Carolina is
Look at
ECU.
us.
Yeah, that might be the
I
answer.
don't know.
Ask the bench, with the addition of Flynn, are we down to only one sunscreen truther on the show?
Just Tay-Tay.
Yep, just Tay-Tay.
Tay-Tay, the only sunscreen
I mean,
user.
hey, this can block out the sun. Let me put it on my skin.
Right. Something that blocks the sun cannot be healthy.
I did not get as much hate on the street for a lot of the stupid crap we say here more than that one.
Well, look, I didn't wear it for years, but the
Yeah.
last time I didn't, I had that bad burn. So, I mean, I kind of have to now.
From our guy, Scott Dice, ask the bench, will Flynn try to use QB1 energy to get FB1 to go back to the other chair? No, he ain't. Ain't no way.
It's not happening.
No, I don't think he's going to care.
No,
He's
not-
normally on that side. For
He's really not
Fletcher
going to.
anyways.
He's not going to care. And we've done this show together, and this is where. And again, this is strictly because today was the most comfortable I've ever been because I was not freezing. It's a normal temperature over here. It's nice, probably like 68 on this side, 60 over there.
God.
So that's why I'm over here, because like I used to sit over there even when T-Bob wasn't here, but now that the show's going in a different direction, now that T-Bob's moving on, now this is the seat. All right, let's see. Ask everybody but not T-Bob. If Aaron Rodgers were to join the Saints, would we get a weekly bit with Flynn similar to Pat McAfee?
I mean, Flynn still close to him.
And very close. Yeah, they're boys.
That'd be cool.
I'm trying to I am trying to work on something I want to do it on Fridays, the last hour, because I think like that's like major college football vibes are right about to happen.
Yeah.
And I'll just say it. I'm trying to get it where it's me and Flynn in here, obviously, Bobby Carpenter and AJ Hawk on Zoom, and we go quad box for 30 minutes.
I like that.
So Bobby's already agreed, trying to get Flynn to work
Shout
on
out,
AJ.
Bobby.
That's going to be that'd be a lot of fun.
That would
so
be
we got
great.
Big Ten, SEC,
Yeah.
and just kind of covering it all, and just 4 total meatheads.
That would be really, I would like that.
We're going to blow through breaks. It's going to be
It's
a hot
fine.
mess, but that's what we're trying to get done for Fridays in football season. All right, let's see.
We love a hot mess.
Oh, that's still going to happen often here on this show. Ask the bench. Taylor, what's it like not hearing Shut Up, Taylor?
Shut up, Taylor.
It's not much different. I mean, I tuned it out after a while. I mean, after the first 3 months of working on this show, I kind of expected it at that point. So, I mean, it's not much different.
Ask Jake, choose one, drinking water, applying sunscreen, or believing the earth is over 3,000 years old. I do believe the earth is over 3,000 years old, so I'll go with that one. I don't drink a lot of water. I don't put on sunscreen. But, the earth, no. Look, I'm a believer, but I believe God's time is not a time that we know. I believe it's longer than normal time. So, yeah, the earth is over 3,000 years old, but those Indian mounds over there in LSU, nah.
No.
Just push some dirt together a couple years ago. Ask the bench, and then it says, Jake, are you lonely up there by yourself? I'm not by myself. I have got Alondra and Tay-Tay who are going to be heavily involved with the show moving forward. So I don't feel lonely.
No.
Oh.
We all got each other.
Yeah, this room's also smaller than you think.
Yeah, it is.
Everybody,
and there's no glass. Like, you know how typically there's a separate room for producers? It's very open concept in here.
It is, yeah. And so, like, they're not an arm's length away, but they're pretty close here. So, no, I am not lonely. Ask the bench, are y'all going to do shows at SEC Media Days? Yes, for sure. We are going to be at SEC Media Days. Flynn will be there with us. He's already confirmed. I believe Hunt's going this year,
He is.
which he's never been
Whole
before.
crew.
So going for his show and LouisianaSports.net. Of course, Matt's going to go with his show as well. We're trying to get Alondra at SEC Media Days. We're just going to keep trying the good fight.
We'll see about
keep fighting
that,
the good fight. But yeah, we will certainly be there.
Well, we got to bring me and Tay-Tay because we all got to fight Cole and
Oh yeah, we're going to fight.
Greg McElroy. So.
Yes, we are going to fight. What's the name of their show? Mac and Cubes?
Mac and Cube.
Yeah. Flynn's got Greg. I've got Cole. And the producers, I don't care who you are, I got Alondra and Tay-Tay.
Yeah.
Ricky says, Hanging with Hess used to have a ton of in-studio guests. Any plans on bringing them back? Yes, we are going to do that as well. All right, it's going to do it for OTB. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow morning. Until then, enjoy the rest of your day.
Off the bench.
Yeah, we will definitely have in-studio guests here as well, and they get to sit on that other side, which is the frozen tundra. But if you have Cool Pro HVAC work on your system, it's going to be regulated. It's not going to be too cold. It's not going to be too hot because, well, it's always going to be working efficiently. All right, they're all about efficiency over there at Cool Pro. So many different things. Like we always talk about the Pro Plan, $99 does not matter how many units you have, which is an incredible value, but also the 1 hour wait times. How many times have you, hey, I need this fixed. Hey, in these 8 hour window, we're going to be there. Look, you got to work. Like you don't have that ability. And also like with them, you know exactly where your tech is. It is literally like following your Uber. You know exactly where they're at, when they're going to get there. So you know who's coming into your home, when they're going to get there. And just another great service that they offer. That website is coolprohvac.com. The number 225-350-4397.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.